Good morning, I am Maltiti Saida Sadiq. This is GTV Breakfast News at 6 a.m. coming to you live from Studio 1 here at the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. You can watch us on Facebook at the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, on DSTV. We're on channel 278. Our stories that are making headlines this morning: National Petroleum Authority sensitizes media on pricing formula. Also, NDC joins family of murdered social media activist Kaka to mark first anniversary. On the foreign front, police in South Africa begin investigation into death of 22 young people at a night club. Let's start off from petroleum, and as part of its regional tours, the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, has engaged the media in Koforidua on matters relating to petroleum pricing formula, post-deregulation and fuel quality. Petroleum product prices affects all sectors of the economy, hence the sensitization drive on the parameters that go into pricing and quality.
The Petroleum Authority was established to regulate the petroleum downstream industry in Ghana. As a regulator, the authority ensures that the industry remains efficient, profitable, fair, and at the same time ensuring that consumers receive value for money. At a media engagement in Koforidua, the media was enlightened on taxes and levies on petroleum products, which include special petroleum tax, energy debt recovery levy, road fund levy, energy fund levy, price stabilization and recovery levy, sanitation and pollution levy, as well as energy sector recovery levy. The head of quality assurance, Mr. Said Ubedala Kutia, noted that his unit is responsible for ensuring the quality and integrity of refined petroleum products along the supply chain. He allayed the fears of petroleum consumers on the shortage of petroleum products.
We are currently working to eliminate that fear. Currently, there are enough stocks. It's just projection that if A and B or C is not done well, you may. That is why it says looming. But we are currently trying to avert that situation from happening.
The head of electronic regulations of NPA, Mr. Ibrahim Abbas Tasunti, said pricing policy ensures full cost recovery of investment as well as to generate revenue. He revealed that over 90% of petroleum products are imported into the country and that Ghana gets only 18% share in crude oil production in the country, which also affects the pricing formula in the country.
If government is making revenue from its share, most governments have policies on how to price. Ghana does not subsidize petroleum products, but if Ghana wants to intervene, it will have to look at whether it is making enough revenue from its share of crude oil produced to be able to subsidize petroleum products for Ghana.
During a question and answer session, it was revealed that geopolitics, political unrest, decision by major oil producers, natural disasters, strength of the global economy, increased mobility, as well as the strength of the US dollar, drives the world market prices of petroleum products.
Let's look at health and let's go to Tema, where through the benevolence of the Kokroko Charities Foundation, the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit NICU of the Tema General Hospital has received an incubator to provide a safe and controlled space for infants to live while their vital organs develop. This brings to 50 the total number of incubators donated by the foundation to hospitals across the country.
According to a needs assessment report by health agencies, premature births continue to increase in the Tema metropolis, and health experts say this calls for an improved maternal and infant health. The use of incubators also becomes crucial in the lives of preterm babies for a specialized care provided to newborn babies. With a target of donating 100 incubators to hospitals across the country to help save the lives of preterm babies, the Kokroko Charities Foundation, in collaboration with Gassem Foundation, has presented the 50th incubator to the Tema General Hospital. A representative of Gassem Foundation, Mr. Beneficie Shen, urged other corporate bodies to support the Kokroko Charities Foundation in its drive to promote neonatal care in Ghana. The medical director of Tema General Hospital, Dr. Richard Anthony, said the hospital has received 3 incubators from the Kokroko Charities Foundation. Also, the foundation has refurbished one section of the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, NICU, to prevent infection. He expressed gratitude to the two organizations for their support to put smiles on mothers' faces and save babies. The Kokoroko Charities Foundation, led by its founder Mr. Kwame Sifakai, aims to reduce to the barest minimum the incidence of infant mortality as the nation strives to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal SDG 3 by 2030. It is therefore assisting various health facilities across the country with incubators to provide quality health care delivery for premature babies. For GBC News, Oferi Wadako reporting.
Away from health in Tema, let's go to Techiman, where in an effort to reduce the recurrence of sexual and gender-based violence SGBV Act, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection has collaborated with UNFPA to organize a two-day training program for paralegals in the Bono East region.
Made up of opinion leaders from the Techimai market and surrounding communities are expected, among other duties, to educate traders and other residents on domestic and sexual violence and the sanctions that will be applied. They are also to point victims to the right channels with their problems to get professional legal, psychological and social support. The paralegals were educated on domestic violence, sexual abuse, rape and defilement, child labor, denying people right to basic education, verbal abuse, rights of males and females, right to property. The director of the Domestic Violence Secretariat at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Madame Molinin Asibi, said people are often reluctant to press charges when they fall victim to such violent acts. However, she encourages victims to seek help from people they are comfortable with.
They do sensitization in the market areas. They also receive complaints and they pass or report or refer such complaints to the appropriate agencies. So we saw the need to replicate this concept in other regions because the Accra one is working perfectly well. Our idea is to bring services closer to the public.
Resource persons at the program cautioned against verbal abuse either towards a house help, biological or adopted child or spouse, since that could cause psychological problems and prevent them from striving to reach their goals in life.
20 June 2022 marked the first anniversary of the shooting of Ibrahim Mohammed alias Macho Kaka in Ejra in the Ashanti region. Macho Kaka was attacked on Saturday 20 June 2021 dawn by unknown assailants who laid ambush for him in front of his house at Dagomba Line, a suburb of Ejra. Following the news of his death, the youth of Ejra went on a demonstration to demand justice. The police, with the assistance of the military, managed to quell the demonstration. On the occasion of the first anniversary of the untimely death of Kaka, the leadership and entire membership of the NDC joined his family and friends in remembering Kaka. The National Democratic Congress says the perpetrators must be brought to book. In a statement, the NDC is asking for justice for all who have perished in clashes between security forces and ordinary citizens, and in particular Ibrahim Mohammed alias Kaka and the two other citizens of Ejra who died alongside Kaka. Let's go to Nsuta now, where on the heels of a GBC News report on the lack of beds and beddings at the Yebua Esuama Senior High School in Nsuta in the Teshiman South Municipality of the Bono East region, government has responded to the distress call with a provision of 200 bunk beds and 400 mattresses to the school.
Yebua Esuama Senior High School was established by the chiefs and people of Nsuta in 2011 as a community-day senior high school. It was subsequently absorbed by the government in 2013. However, the school lacks some essentials, including beds for the students. GBC News, in a report, threw light on the challenges facing the school, and now help has come. Government provided 200 bunk beds and 400 mattresses for the school.
We say thanks to GTV and also the government.
Enter the girls' dormitory like this. The rooms are not, they are not large enough. So the beds are crowded.
Waiting the government to give us more facilities because we use the dormitory, one of the dormitory as a classroom and one of the dormitory as ICT lab.
The assistant headmaster of Yabo Esuama SHS in charge of academics, Mr. Idrisu Derek Theophilus, commended GBC News and government for playing their respective roles effectively.
The swiftness of the support was very, very massive. So we thank the government. But there are still things that we need, infrastructure.
Authorities say with the introduction of the free SHS policy, student population has increased without corresponding expansion of infrastructure. When GBC News visited the school, the teachers were using a pavilion they constructed as a staff common room, while a pavilion constructed by residents of Insuta as a dining hall has been converted into classroom. For GBC News, Samuel Ayama, Insuta.
Let's look at the annual Ohum Festival, where the people of Achim Ebuakwa traditional area have climaxed their annual Ohum Festival with a grand durbar at the forecourt of the Ochehine's Palace at Chebi in the eastern region. Invited guests included the Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Finance Minister Mr. Kenu Furiata, the Kuyamohene Odeniho Kwafu Akoto, and the Kuyapem Hene Osiade Yokwesi Ekufu Abibio.
Ohum Festival is celebrated in June, July or August annually, depending on when permission is granted by the gods of the celebration to usher in a new yam, Hokwasi Bayere season. It is to give thanks to God the Almighty, the ancestors and gods of the land for protection and provision of abundance of new yam. The right to choose a date for the celebration of Ohum Festival is strictly reserved for Nana Tafuhine. Prior to that, Nana Tafuhine, together with his elders, will go to the sacred forest in Tafu to offer sacrifices, after which they will go to a sacred palm tree to pluck fresh palm fronds as a sign of gaining permission to celebrate Ohum. Once permission is granted by the gods, Nana Tafuhine will visit Oforipeni Fie in Chebi and inform his overlord, the Ochehine, of the date for the celebration. This year's celebration attracted people from far and near. Prominent among the celebrants was the Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who addressed a durbar of the chiefs and people in the area and called their attention to the significance of festivals in national development.
History tells us that Achims use the celebration of the Ohum Festival to thank our Creator for blessing their land with the Birim River. During this period, we use products from the land and the river as symbols to remember our ancestors who struggled and persevered in keeping the society intact.
Dr. Bawumia expressed worry over the poor state of some water bodies as a result of illegal mining. He urged the traditional authorities to support the government to help address the Galamsey menace in the country. He also appealed to the chiefs to revive the communal work spirit in their traditional areas to augment government's efforts to keep the environment clean. The Ochehene, Osajifo Amweti of Oforipeni, addressed the durbar.
Na bibi o wiase de ba ho ba bia o ma obia na wo no a wote a obenya bi no hwe so yi na nananom ye ya wodi gya ye di ohumuma ye ba ya sebe ye nya asase papa ye nya from a papa ye nya aduan papa ni su papa no ye no me chiri se yen ye beja o man yo ho ne ye sesa na ye na ye nye aye pesem kuma ye nye ye dwen ye ho Ohum
Festival of Ochimang was initiated by Tafuhine Nana Okru Benin over 200 years ago, and since the occupant of Idiana Abrade stool of Achim Tafu is the custodian of the festival.
Nankoforija, the ECOWAS Regional Electricity Regulatory Authority has engaged communication experts in the energy sector to That's the rationale behind electricity prices, which has a ripple effect on goods and services in the sub-region. It forms part of efforts to ensure that affordability of electricity tariffs in the West African sub-region.
Regional Electricity Regulatory Authority is the regulator of regional cross-border trade of electricity in West Africa. The engagement sought to abreast citizens of ECOWAS on what entails in the electricity tariffs in the sub-region and ensure a proper communication in a competitive market. The chairman of ERERA, Professor Honore Bogler, indicated that the provision of quality and affordable electricity to ECOWAS citizens in their respective countries is crucial. To participants, safeguarding the interests of consumers means reasonable tariffs.
We are also exposed to different regulatory market, which will be start soon, which will be the second phase of the regional electricity. We are expecting it to start in 2023.
The ECOWAS Regional Electricity Regulatory Authority says there is a master plan to ensure citizens of ECOWAS are provided with affordable and effective electricity in the sub-region.
Let's go to the international front, where Gambian diplomat Dr. Omar Aliu Toure will assume the presidency of the ECOWAS Commission in the first week of July 2022 in Accra. He will be presiding over a slimmer 7-member commission as against a 15-commissioner structure, but the new team faces a number of daunting challenges in a region plagued by insecurity, political instability, poor governance systems, and leadership deficits. ECOWAS will, on 29 June 2022, hold ITA statutory meetings in Accra, thus Mediation and Security Council on the 29 June, Council of Ministers on the June 30th and 1st of July, and Summit of Heads of State on 3rd July 2022. Let's look at some rather worrying events in South Africa, where police forensic teams in South Africa investigating the deaths of 22 young people at a nightclub and the bar in southern coastal town of East London. Specialists have yet to establish the cause of the tragedy, which occurred during end of school year celebrations by teenagers. Local residents raised the alarm at around 4 a.m. The police minister tried to calm an angry crowd of relatives and residents at a cordoned-off crime site at Scenery Park. Unverified pictures shared on social media showed bodies with no visible signs of injuries lying on the floor of the club. Autopsies are expected to give a clear idea of what happened in the nightclub, which was reported to be very crowded. Officials said toxicology tests established if the casualties were poisoned. President Cyril Ramaphosa offered his condolences to families and said he was worried about the circumstances under which young people, potentially under the age of 18 years, were allowed to gather at the tavern. Mr. Ramaphosa said in a statement that the law must take its course once investigations conclude. Now, the World Health Organization, WHO, says the monkeypox disease does not amount to public health emergency of international concern. The UN Health Agency stopped short of giving the outbreak the label of highest alert, despite the viral disease being detected in over 40 countries. It's time for our weather updates. We have our favorite weather forecaster on the phone lines, Felicity Ahafianyo, who joins us with how this week is going to start to look like with regards to the weather. Good morning, Felicity.
Good morning, Multity.
I hope you had an incident-free weekend.
Yes, it was a very nice weekend.
Right. How is our weather looking like today?
Yeah, today is going to be mostly cloudy across the 16 regions. This morning, we are having 30% chance of rain over Aflau and the capital. And then areas over Kintampo, Gosu, Sunyani, Techimai will also have some cloudiness today with rain and thunderstorms. In the afternoon, the coastal belt will have sunny intervals, still with the cloudiness. And then areas that we are earmarking for rain this afternoon, Achimda, Kumasi, Obuasi, Takwasa, Shibekwa, and parts of Katekrachi. Over the north, it will also just be cloudy, but then in the evening, we are expecting isolated to scattered thunderstorms with rain over the northern sector, most part of the northern sector. Temperatures for today will be around 32 over the coastal belt, 31, 33 over the middle sector. The north will have 33 to 35 degrees Celsius. The state of the sea is also expected to remain rough. We are having some patches of rain and thunder clouds over the sea. So fisher folks that may want to go out for fishing can do so, but then they have to be extra careful. The water lake this morning is also pretty cool for fishing activities, but then the late afternoon into the evening hours, we are anticipating a weak storm that is likely to drift in from Nigeria. So their area may not be conducive for any activities towards the evening hours. So this is how it's going to be in terms of the forecast for today.
Right, thank you so much. Felicity Ahafianyo is the head of Central Analysis and Forecasting at the Ghana Meteo Agency, and she's giving us a rundown how the weather will look like. A lot of the weather looking around the country will look like there will be cloudiness, there will be some showers of rainfall towards evening. And so if you're going out, carry your umbrella along and be safe if you're also fishing on the sea or on the Volta Lake. But that's it for GTV Breakfast News with me, Maltiti Saida Sadiq. The show still continues. There's Health Check, which is coming up next. There's also the conversation around the Ghana card and the deadline. We have our lifestyle segment as well. If you just missed the weather reports, go to Facebook at the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and you can watch it over again. I'll be back at 7 with sports news. Stay with us.
Level. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
I am 7 years old. Beep, beep, beep. I am 4 years old.
We are 12 years old.
It's been 1 year since I started my antiretroviral treatment.
You can live a long, productive life with antiretroviral treatment. With antiretroviral treatment, HIV-positive expectant mothers can have healthy HIV-negative babies. Go to the nearest health center, test and know your HIV status. If you are positive, ask about antiretroviral treatment and you will receive help. Antiretroviral treatment is your only option for a long and fulfilling life.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana
Republic Day. The National Cadet Corps, under the auspices of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports, the Ghana Education Service, and the National Youth Authority, in collaboration with other sister youth groups, will this year mark the 62nd Republic Day Youth Parade. Theme: working together as youth through volunteerism, bouncing back together. Guest of honor and reviewing officer, Honorable Nana Akosua Frema Osei-Pari, Chief of Staff, Office of the President. Venue: Black Star Square. Date: Friday, 1st July 2022. Time: 6 a.m. For more information, please visit www.cadetcorps.gov.gh or call 0302 915 790 or 0554 656 583.
6:29. This is GTV Breakfast. Today is the 27th, I believe. Yeah, 27th of June, 2022. Charlie, so soon, and the year is almost like at halftime. How are you doing with your goals and the things you plan to achieve when the year turned on the 1st of January? Hope everything is going well. Hope you're not feeling the pain of missed goals and missed opportunities. And talking of pain, we're talking painkillers this morning, the long-term effect of painkillers. So what's your experience with pain like? Is it that you're in pain most of the day, you find it very difficult to concentrate, and your work is being disrupted? Well, one of the many reasons why people visit the clinics or the hospitals is for pain relief. And then you know the painkillers, you know your favorite brand. They're there to stop pain, but sometimes people overuse them, and they may have serious effects, and there are risks to you. To talk about the long-term effect of painkillers, I have a physician specialist from Trust Hospital who has joined us on the show, Dr. Neelante Blanksini. What's up?
Charlie?
You inside?
Yes.
Good morning.
Morning.
All right. Listen, so give us a definition. So what are painkillers, and exactly how do they work?
Okay, so painkillers are drugs that we take to mediate or to combat pain. Mm-hmm. And pain itself is a feeling, is an uncomfortable feeling, you know. It comes in many different forms. Stabbing, burning, you know, pulling, throbbing, dull, sharp, you know, and all these symptoms are to tell you that there's something happening in the body.
Okay.
Either an infection or some inflammation or something going on. And so painkillers usually combat the symptom that you get from these bad processes that are going on in your body.
Okay.
And there are various classes of painkillers. To simplify them, we can group them into a paracetamol group. You know, paracetamol is one of the oldest and trusted painkillers that we have around. Everybody knows para.
Para,
you know,
yeah,
exactly. And then we have a group of them called the NSAIDs, or the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. So they combat inflammation. Inflammation is when your body is trying to fight anything untoward. Mm-hmm. You know, so like you have an infection somewhere, your body now tries to recruit soldiers, so brings white cells, brings all sorts of things to their place to be able to fight and in the process, that war that goes on generates pain.
Okay. Okay.
So we give drugs that mediate the inflammatory process so that the pain comes down. Those are the NSAIDs, and those are like the Brufins,
I wanted to use
diclofenac.
Okay, those are the NSAIDs.
Exactly, naproxen. Our elderly patients, you know, they know these drugs very, very, very well because they take them a lot because they have generalized arthritis. There's changes in the joints as they grow old, you know, which can be very painful. You see, most old people have some pain in their waist or their back or their knees or things from arthritis. Okay. So those are the NSAIDs, those group of drugs. And then we have another group of drugs called the opioids. Opioids, let's say they come from a plant called the opioid plant. The chemical is opium. Opium, we know that, we know people use, yes, you know, from way back in history, people have been using it to combat pain. And so there's this group of drugs that are derived from opium called the opioids.
Is tramadol one of them? Is tramadol
yes, it is one of them.
It is one of them.
It is one of them. And there are many others, you know, like morphine and some others as well.
And are those prescription drugs?
Yes, but
tramadol, morphine, are they?
Yes, yes, those. And so, and then let me just finish. And then there are the alcohol group. You know, alcohol mediates pain. I mean, if you drank alcohol before, you will know. And then there's also the newer drugs that are coming up. Well, they are old, but they are now being recycled, like cannabis and some of the others. which also mediate pain quite well. So you have people on who have cancer patients, chronic pain patients, or some of them being put on cannabis as well. So these are broadly the
different kinds of painkillers
and how they work. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm just curious about things like cannabis. Is cannabis prescribed in Ghana?
Well, it's I think steps were being taken a few years ago to get it done, because I know that I think in Parliament it was sort of passed for medical legal use, but I'm not too sure how far that angle or the advancement has gone. And I think we should look into it further, because these opioid drugs, like the tramadols and the oxycodones and stuff, which we've been using a lot over the past 2 or 3 decades, it's now getting to crisis levels, because when you overuse them or you don't use them well, then you have problems of addiction, etc. coming up, and sometimes patients actually die. Wow. From maybe you take an overdose because now you've taken it for so long that now when you take it, you don't get the same pain relief. So you just increase the dose a little bit, and that is what takes you away, because it depresses your breathing.
Oh, so
that's one of the side effects.
Okay.
It can depress your ability to breathe. It acts on the brain and tells the brain slow down breathing, and then next thing you're gonna be say you are talking to Peter and Gabriel and stuff.
Wow.
So
yeah, it's crazy. So people gotta be careful.
So because of that, now there's the shift. People all over the world now, people are looking for what are the alternatives to opioids. That's where all this medical marijuana and stuff is coming up.
Okay. In Ghana, what are the most commonly used painkillers and most commonly abused painkillers?
I'll probably say paracetamol, because familiarity, they say breeds contempt. Yeah, man. So we've grown up with paracetamol for so long. It's in everybody's bag, everybody's pocket. Sometimes there's even one tablet in as you go wash for washing machine and things. Yeah. So it's a very, very commonly available drug, and we've used it since we're chill. So we don't listen to the instructions that doctors give.
What are the instructions on paracetamol?
Yes. So there's depending on your size or your age, there's a dose that we will give you. So for like an adult, we give you a certain dose to be taken a certain number of times during the day for a certain period, But most of the time, because it's paracetamol, when the doctor says take it every 6 hours, you just put it and chew it, and you don't even remember to take it again. Wow. And then the next day comes and then you say, I forgot to take my paracetamol. But the paracetamol says it doesn't even work. That's not true. If you take it at the right time, you will find you have some amazing pain relief, So paracetamol for me is like the most abused of the painkillers. And then I'd come to maybe the brufen group, the brufen, diclofenac, naproxen, because these drugs are available over the counter. So I'm getting this toothache, they just write some brufen for you. You don't really listen to the instructions very well. You take them, sometimes you take a higher number of pills than you're supposed to take. And sometimes we take it either more or less than the number of times during the day we are supposed to take it. And then some people take it forever. I mean, some people every day they take brufen before they sleep. Wow. I mean, that's...
For what?
Well, some people say, after a hard day's work, you probably are feeling a little uncomfortable, a little tired, and they think that brufen or those painkillers can mediate that. Of course, maybe if you have some body pain and, etc., coming up from the stress of the day, and maybe some trauma you sustained, etc., the pain will come down. So that is why they take it. I mean, most of our people who work in very strenuous conditions are masons, are farmers, etc. I mean, until we develop and come up with tools which make life easier and less stressful and stuff, I mean, they will have to be depending on these kind of, painkillers, and this kind of work, you do it every day. Yeah. So you can imagine.
You're getting pain all the time.
Exactly. So
what are what happens if you take, say, too much paracetamol or too much brufen? What happens to your body?
Well, if you take too much, it can spill into toxicity. You know, that means that you have too much of the level of the drug that you are supposed to have in you. That is where, for example, now, if you take something like the tramadol I was talking about, because of the high concentration of the drug, it begins to. We know that the drug depresses respiration, but just a little bit. So everybody, you take tramadol and you feel, or maybe even concentration, you feel a little drowsy, you know. But you can do with that. Everybody does with that. But if you go and take a high burden, now the effect on the concentration and the effect on the breathing becomes more.
Is that why I've seen videos of people who are addicted to tramadol and they are really slow? It's like they are walking around in slow motion.
Exactly. That is what is happening. You know, everything has been depressed. The brain function has been depressed. Breathing has been depressed. So you see somebody standing and, you know, he's just going.
Okay.
You know.
And if you take them off after a while, can they get back to normal levels?
Well, I mean, if you take somebody off it, you probably come back. I mean, after a time, if you're not exposing your receptors to the drug for a long time, the receptors may return to normal level. But if every time you are taking it, the receptors begin to they become blunt. So you need more drug to activate the receptor for you to get the pain relief. And unfortunately, those drugs too, because they have side effects, like maybe some euphoria or something. That's why people go and abuse them. Yes, exactly. Okay. You know, so it's like a side route to get high.
But somebody will be saying, I've been taking para for the past 20 years. I mean, when I feel pain, I just pop some para. I don't feel any effects. I mean, are there any effects of taking too much para or even too little?
Well, erratic? No. I mean, paracetamol is quite safe. I mean, the levels you need to take to give you some acute liver shutdown is huge. I mean, a huge number of tablets. I mean, it's not. But of course, if you take paracetamol and you're drinking alcohol, then you are increasing the probability that you'll be moving.
Why is that? I mean, the combination of paracetamol and alcohol.
They work together.
Okay.
It's through an enzyme system, but let's say they just work together to explain it easier.
Wow. We're talking long-term effect of painkillers. My guest is Dr. Nilante Blankson. He's a physician specialist from the Trust Hospital, joining us for the conversation. And you can send us your questions on all these drugs that he's been talking about, painkillers, paracetamol, brufen, diclofenac, opioids, all of them. 055-556-1034. The number is 055-556-1034. If it is not right to buy unprescribed painkillers over the counter, why do you think people are? Why are the pharmacists selling these drugs to people?
I don't think most pharmacists are doing that, but in every system there are the Nilantes and the Kofi Mensahs and that is why you may have some of these pharmacy shops, sidestepping what it should be, because they want to make a profit. That's basically it. I mean, you want to make a profit, so you don't insist that the patient will go to the doctor and get a prescription and come back, I remember one time I was in Jamaica, and I was trying to get Benylin with codeine. That was like 2015, 2016.
That's like a cough mixture?
It's a cough mixture. And I'd found out that anytime I have this allergy or this cough and I take the Benylin with the codeine, the cough goes down. So for me, it was my best treatment for dry cough. And then I went to Jamaica and I had a cold. I had a cold. I mean, the same day I arrived. I remember the next 2 days was getting bad. So we walked into. We said, "Oh, we wanted some Benylin with codeine." Mm-hmm. They refused. They said unless a doctor writes. We said everything we had to say. I was there to perform Rebel Salute. We said everything we wanted to say. It wasn't given to us, you know.
So regulation there is tight.
Tight,
Okay.
you know what I mean. And there are pharmacies here who don't joke with the regulation as well. But like I'm saying, where profit is the motive, I mean, some people might
take corners.
Exactly.
So now, what is the accepted protocol? I'm feeling certain pains that are unusual over a period of time. What do I do?
Okay, so basically there's not much you can do unless, okay, you can just update yourself a bit about the fact that stress can give you pain, maybe some dehydration can give you pain. If you don't sleep well, you get pain, you know, as you grow older, arthritis, malaria, all these things. When you have an infection, inflammation all over the body, you get generalized body pain. So you know that, okay, the pain is alerting you that there's something wrong in the body, but you may not know where exactly the problem is. You know, there's a form of pain in the human body called referred pain, right?
Who referred it to us?
So what it means is that the problem can be actually, let's say, in the arm here, but you feel the pain in the neck.
Wow.
Okay, this is just like a simple explanation of it.
No be juju be that.
So if you so if you go chasing the pain and you just assume that, oh, it's a neck problem, you know, then you're in trouble. People can have pain somewhere in the back and can feel it here.
Oh, wow.
You know, so it is best when you're having these things to try to see a doctor, you know, because that's what the training is about, to be able to, you know, make a difference between these kinds of things. You go feel lost road and you be forever on
something which is,
and you know, these painkillers like the brufens and stuff, if you take them too much, you can develop an ulcer easily.
What's an ulcer?
An ulcer, like let's say a sore within the stomach lining.
That sounds painful.
Exactly. You know, so what happens is that if you take them for too long, the stomach cannot protect itself, and then there's a lot of acid in the stomach, and then you develop your ulcer. Okay. So it's actually dangerous to keep on taking brufen, diclofenac, naproxen without having seen a doctor. The doctor will usually give you limits. Don't take it more than this number of days to protect you. The same with the tramadols and the oxycodons and stuff. The doctor will say don't take it for more than 1 week, because he knows if you go beyond a week, maybe you start getting addicted and things like that to start coming into the picture, you know.
What about the reverse? So you've been given a certain course of treatment, and you're supposed to take maybe 2-3 times a day for a week, and on day 1 you take 2, day 2 you chill, day 3 you take some 4, day 5 0, day 6 then you think, oh, okay, let me take, then let me just take everything that I should have taken.
Hey,
yeah,
that's
yeah. So because some people do that, they kind of count everything. So I should have just taken it. So what's first of all, like the erratic taking? What does that do for you?
First of all, that you won't even know whether the drug has worked or it hasn't worked. You know, and then you end up blaming the drug and say this drug doesn't work well, because you have to take it a certain number of times to maintain a certain blood level for the effect to be felt. So if you are taking it like this, like that. That one, the blood level won't be constant, and then the pain will be popping up, going and coming, and then now you say the drug doesn't work. You become a chronic abuser of the drug. But if you are taking it like the way that the doctor said, first week, boom, like he said, the inflammation goes away and you are free. But if you did joke with that, with it, and then you take, you don't take, you take, you don't take, then yes.
Sometimes some of the drugs they tell you take them before meals or after meals. What's the difference?
You know, when you've eaten, there's some amount of protection in your stomach. So some of the drugs which cause ulcers and stuff, they'll say, oh, take it after meals, so that by the time the diclofenac begins to get into the stomach, etc., there's some food around there to coat the place nicely so that you don't get your ulcers, etc. There are also some drugs whose that may not even be a painkiller, but there are drugs whose absorption depends on what kind of foods are in the stomach. You know? So, for example, if you want to absorb iron very well, you may have to take some vitamin C or vitamin C containing foods. So there are foods that also determine how well you absorb a drug, or how poorly you absorb a drug.
So it's like they either collaborate with the drug.
Exactly. So something like that. The doctor would say, okay, take this maybe before you eat, so that you can absorb it well before you eat. Okay. Exactly. All
right. Yeah. Charlie, I'm going to take some messages right now for Dr. Nilante Blanks. We're looking at long-term effects of painkillers, and let me just walk there and get the messages for you. Okay, Trisha. Good morning. Kudos to Dr. Nilante. I was on a prescribed painkiller for a year after ankle surgery. I've stopped taking them now, but once in a while I take ibuprofen to ease the pain. Will I get a side effect from the prescribed tramadol I took after my operation?
Well, he or she is talking about two drugs here.
Yeah, she's talking about two drugs.
The brufen. Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's an over-the-counter drug. It's quite safe, unless you overtake it or you don't eat before you take it, etc. So that's cool. The tramadol, yeah, I think that one should be just strictly doctor's prescription.
Okay, all right. More messages. Good morning, Mena Hunter. Good morning, Kaf and Dr. Nilante. So issues around pain and aches have been so many factors: bad economic pressure, wrongful and mismatching of food in relation to the right blood type, wrong timing of resting, unnecessary pressure from the environment, fertilizer in our foods. All I use of late to get rid of headaches and pains is just enough water. Is water treatment something that...
Well, I mean, there are other therapies, I mean, apart from traditional orthodox medicine, and sometimes they work. Some people can swear that, drinking urine relieves this, or...
Their own or their spouses. Good morning to you, Doc.
I guess their own challenge.
Their own, they produce their own thing. Please ask Dr. Blankson if you can reuse a painkiller a doctor prescribed for you previously.
Well, I mean, we do it. I mean, paracetamol, you were given maybe to take it like a week. In 5 days, the thing is over. So you have just a little bit in stock. 2 days later, you have some headache. You pop in some 2 pills. We do it. I mean, it's safe. But you see, you should also know the expiry date of the medication that you were given, and you may not know that. So me, I'd just advise that take it as the doctor has said take it.
Okay.
If some of the medication is left, don't use it. When you get another prescription, then you use it.
Okay, but what Rasta is saying about drugs is very important. All drugs can heal, but can also kill. Because I read somewhere that they are really like, if you take them too much, they become poisons.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. More messages. 055 556 1034. I think I just saw Aaron's messages. Okay. I think we've dealt with all the issues. Why do you take painkillers? You have to relieve yourself of pain. Any health benefits? What are the negative sides of taking painkillers? We know that you may get addicted to the pain. So I guess those are your messages on 055 556 1034. I'm going to go back to the desk and then wrap it up with Dr. Nilante Blankson. We're looking at pain, but if more come, we'll get them. All right. So, what do you want people to remember from this conversation, Nee, with respect to the long-term effects of painkillers?
Well, we should remember that some of these painkillers are really dangerous. I mean, if abused, if taken when you don't have to take them, or when you take them in quantities higher than you were asked to take them, and if you take them longer than you are supposed to take them, you may never get over the issue that's causing the pain because you're not taking it well, and then you end up becoming addicted. Some of the drugs too, Charlie, like I'm saying, that the addiction is not small. You get it, and to come off it, you have to go through rehab and all sorts of things.
You've had patients like that?
Yeah, there are patients like that.
Without naming names, I mean, what was the experience? What was the most striking of such examples for you? Somebody who was addicted to painkillers?
Well, that was, I don't know if I should even say about Charlie. Yeah, we all be human beings. It was actually a colleague, got addicted to pethidine. Pethidine is one of the drugs that we give. It's one of the opioid drugs, and it was a long story, because he was in pethidine there, starts,
self-medicating.
Exactly, and sometimes he doesn't even have pain, but because of the euphoria because of the euphoria you get from the opioids. That's why he started, doing this.
Was this like a week-long, month-long, year-long?
It went on for years, and then later on we found out it became a whole issue. So things like this happen. If you joke with a drug, you can become hooked on it, and then now it's a whole different. And then they can kill you acutely. If you take an overdose, and your respiration drops beyond where it should go, that one there then.
Your curtains.
Yeah, man.
Wow. So got to be careful
with
these drugs. Their long-term permanent effects, impair health, and you could even die. So be very careful about the use of painkillers. That's our conversation on painkillers by Dr. Nilante, who's doctor by day, musician by night. There that somebody wanted to find out from. He says, what's the reaction of some of your patients when they enter the consulting room and they see that the doctor has dreads?
Usually I don't see that any reaction, because I put my hair in my
your turban.
No, it's a hospital.
Oh, okay, so it's covered.
It's a cap, yes.
Oh, okay.
So everything is covered.
Okay.
It's not a source of infection for anybody.
Man, all the best. And we're done with the conversation. Quickly before we go, musical wise, what's happening?
We are rolling out a song called Bestie, and very soon the video will be out.
Nice one. And that's what you do when you have two professions. You can do something in the day, something at night, and everything is legal. Dr. Nilante Blackson is a physician specialist from Trust Hospital. He's joined us on conversations on long-term effect of painkillers. Still to come, sports news at 7, headlines at 7:20. And if you haven't gotten your Ghana card, well, the deadline is looming. The deadline is supposed to be June 30. If today is June 27, you have 3 days to get your Ghana card. Start thinking about those queues. Start thinking about the stress. You may need painkillers. Get rid of that Ghana card stress. But that's a conversation we'll be having later on today. Did you see that baby that popped out of a moving car? We'll show you that video in the next hour, and we'll speak to somebody about safety, child safety, seat belts, child lock, all those things. And on the subject of just crazy stuff, did you hear that audio going around? Samasofu, who was recounting his experience of how around midnight a couple of days ago, he found out that there were some people in his compound, and they were all dressed in police uniforms with the police car flashing lights. He tells his Osofu Mommy, don't open the door. So Mommy tries opening the door. He tells her, don't. Then he goes and makes a phone call to 18555. It turns out that the people out there were not police officers. And so the police were sending people over to the guy's house. He comes back to the hall, and his wife is just about opening the door for these criminals. And it's their son who manages to convince Osofu Mommy not to open the door. And the people are still out there wondering why they're not inside the house. And then Osofu Mommy says, we've just called 1855, and your people are coming. The people say, you called what? And the people run away. And I'm thinking, Osofu, shut down your church. Because Osofu Mommy does not listen. She can't listen. You don't have any authority over her. Maybe your son should be the in charge of the church. Because what has happened right now is that Osofu Mommy has put that family in danger. Because those guys can come back. Police were not able to nab them. Just call 18555. I mean, this long audio I listened to, I think was a waste of my time. But I could have 30 seconds. If you hear anybody in your compound, you know who it is, call 18555. Tell the police to come over quickly. Yeah, don't finish the story and telling us about the grace of God and all of that. The grace of God is working over time. Sometimes we have to use common sense. 18555. Thank you. That's my rant. See you for sports later on.
This thing you do me. You do me like a movie.
welcome to this side. It's GTV Breakfast Sports with me, Malti Decider Sadiq. What's happening in the sporting world? There's a lot of news making round. We're looking at the Ghana Women's Premier League, which is set to begin soon. The MTN FA Cup final. Also, we'll look at some transfer news, international and local. We'll do some tennis as well. What's happening with Djokovic and Serena Williams. We're starting off too with the Black Starlets and them winning a bronze at the Wafu Zone B. We're live on Facebook at the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. You can take us to work, watch us on your phones and on DSTV channel 278. Let's start off with the Black Starlets. The Black Starlets of Ghana ended the Wafu Zone B tournament with a normal victory after beating Ivory Coast 3-2 to win bronze in the third place playoff. Abdul Rashid scored in the 9th minute to restore parity after the Ivorians took an early lead. Ghana came in stronger in the second half to take over in the 57th minute, but Ivory Coast equalized in the 72nd minute. Ghana grabbed the winner through Abdul Razak Salifu with just 2 minutes left to end the game. Here are the highlights.
Diamande, the pass, penalty, Jigba bringing down the Ivorian attacker.
Diamande again, who's looking for a space, puts the ball in. It's a poor touch from Jigba. Yeah, and he kicks into his man.
It's Diamande stepping forward against Shaibu, and he makes it 1-0 for Cote d'Ivoire.
In time because of the power behind the strike.
For Ghana, the Ivorian goalkeeper Mohamed Cisse brings down the Ghanaian striker Pius Adria, and the Ghanaians have a penalty. They only considered the penalty a while ago and considered the first goal. Have since played as a left back. Here's Abdul Rashid, and he scores brilliantly. Beautiful goal from the spot kick. It's Cote d'Ivoire 1, Ghana 1. Abdul Rashid Adam with the equalizer for Ghana.
He took that really well. That was right. I'm not sure he reaches it. It was very, very, very well taken and brilliant stuff.
First goal of the competition for the left back. Here Diamande thought he had won a penalty for Ivorians, but clearly he wasn't. Burkina Faso referee Bado Benoit whistles for the end of the first half here. The Ivorians kept the chase, and Diamande, in one of those runs, skipped past the Ghanaian centre-back away, sent in a cross, but there was nobody at the end to convert. Look at that ball from the Ivorian danger man, Diamande. In the lead, Richard Apokum finds the back of the net, and this is a glorious finish.
But look at the position where he picks. Nobody is close to him. He's all on his own. Makes the first touch, and he still has a lot of time and space to get the effort away with his left boot. Touch is good, and the effort that finish is powerful enough for close range to beat the goalkeeper. Very much deserved in Ghana.
Diamande's gone past Rashid. The Ivorians looking dangerous, and that's the equalizer. They found it. Truly deserved it from how they played in the last couple of minutes. It is Abubakar.
It is Diamande again. It's like a plate for, and then just redirect
it. Here's Apia. Andrews Apia with a decent cross. Razak with a header. And it's a goal for Ghana. The third goal. Oh my goodness.
Meanwhile, Nigeria were crowned champions of 2022 Wafu Zone B tournament after they beat Burkina Faso 2-1 to win the tournament in Cape Coast.
Well taken by Kamara and brilliantly saved by the Nigerian goalkeeper, the man of the hand, to get the ball away. Timano Michael, beautiful cross from him and a great header, brilliant, well taken from Abdullahi Abubakar Idris. Yeah, good. That delivery, the header from Abu Kamara and Wadrago, he took the risk, he didn't give up. He had two Nigerian defenders. But you are thinking whether the Nigerian goalkeeper could have done better, but you want to give credit to Ouedraogo. He took the risk and went in. Half-time, it didn't take long for the Nigerians to get their second and the match-winning goal. Once Emmanuel Michael lined up for the free kick, goalkeeper Traore made the mess of it, and it gladly fell to Abubakar Abdullahi Idris. Make no mistake, from close range, Nigeria by 2. For Abubakar Abdullahi Idris. This time he got it right, but just look at this ball from and never put a foot wrong.
Yeah, they were so good. It was difficult for any of the backups to break into the side. And this boy, the man in the number 4, as you see there, Bata, he just got into the team and he made them thick.
Nigeria, the champions of Wafu Zone B, the Golden Eaglets. And he hands it over to the Nigerian captain, Precious Williams. 1-2, and Nigeria are champions of the world.
Well, some good news for the Eaglets as the Super Eagles lost out in going to the World Cup. I hope this comforts them a bit. Let's look at the MTN FA Cup final, where Hearts of Oak beats Bechem United 2-1 to win a 12-time record-extending FA Cup title at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium to become the most successful team in the tournament. Now, the Phobians came from behind to win the game after conceding in their first half through Emmanuel Avonyo. The lanky striker slotted in from a rebound to score the opening goal of the game. Caleb Amankwa scored from a volley in the last minutes of the first half to equalize for Hearts of Oak at the end of the first half. Daniel Efriye Barnier scored the winner in the 60th minute to see the Phobians retain the title. Hearts of Oak held on to the lead to win their 12th MTN FA Cup title. Here are the highlights of that classical game.
From Richmond IE, and it's a power drive that is set. Goes past Chine, finds Daniel Efriye Barnier. Here is Barnier. Good tackle from Ethel.
Still Navi. Hearts of Oak's best chances are falling to
Latif Annabella finds Augustin Okra. Okra on his right foot. Ayi puts it down, and it's Avonyo who puts Bechem United ahead. The Hunters are up by 1-0 with 1 to 45 minutes of fun.
Just here at the place. Ayi should be doing a lot better with it. Ayi doesn't parry it away from danger, but parries it right into the path of Avonyo, who has time and space to take one touch and finish.
Samuel Inkum goes low. He finds Barnier, back to Inkum. Inkum whips in across. It's Caleb Amankwa on the volley. An amazing finish. This is classic. What a beauty. Oh, goodness me. Born and bred in Kumasi.
It's been breathtaking. The way they work the free kick is good. Barnier replied to Inkum, and Inkum swept. It's a cutback. Special skills. And the goalkeeper, Abdullahi Idrisu, is rooted to his spot because the effort is perfect from Caleb Amankwa.
He began his juvenile South Africa football going for second half action.
Yeah, what a breathtaking ending to the first half that was, and hopefully
Quaid Jr. Okra. Here is Augustin Okra. Good block from Mohamed Al Hassan. Pass to Awaku, who sends a crossing. Oh, the Phobians are up by 2-1. Daniel Efriye Barnier, the birthday boy, has a goal in the finals of the MTN FA Cup. He turned 21 years today.
Barnier's run again, intelligent, into the near side, and Awaku is not crossing it. He's actually passing it into Barnier. And Barnier opens himself up and just guides the ball into the back of the net. It's a world-class finish. What has Okra just gone and done? What has Okra just gone and done there? But well, that's the incident. That's the way he does here. With all the experience he's got, Okra, there's no way he can do that.
Augustin Okra.
The referee, the card is coming out.
It's a red card. He deserves it. Now he's caused Bechem United. Phone lights on.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. Yeah, they create the win the best goalkeeper after the finals.
It may have been a fault for the first goal. Let's not forget when they played against Almina Sharks, he saved.
The birthday boy, best player after the finals of the MTN Epic Cup. Vice President McAddo, he was with Barnier when they... All hail the champions, Accra Habsburg MTN Epic Cup champions for the year 2022. 12-time champions of the Epic Cup, the most successful Ghanaian club in terms of Epic Cup.
Congratulations to Phobians for winning that. Now, Bechem United striker Augustine Ngokra was sent off in the 68th minute of the game after reportedly assaulting the assistant line one. According to reports, the Black Stars winger head-butted the referee, leading to his being sent off the game. However, Coach Kansei has given a different account of the incident, blaming the defeat on bad officiating.
The tackle, the way he does here, with all the experience he's got, God, there's no way he can do that.
Augustine Ngokra has given a very bad account of himself.
The referee, the card is coming out.
It's a red card, he deserves it. Now, he's caught and do that. Augustine Ngokra has given a very bad account.
That makes the tackle, the way he does here, with all the experience he's got, God, there's no way he can do that.
Augustine Ngokra has given a very bad account of himself.
The referee, the card is coming out.
It's a red card, he deserves it.
At women's football, the Ghana Football Association has announced the 2022-2023 Ghana Women's Premier League has been scheduled to kick-start in October across the various league centres in the country. It will start running on 28th to 30th October across the northern and southern zone. The fixture is expected to be released on August 20th, 2022. Meanwhile, the calendar is expected to make room for a break in November and December due to the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Let's look at some transfer news now. Manchester United have made a significant their pursuit of Frankie de Jong. The Red Devils are reportedly close to agreeing a deal worth around 68 million.
Hello.
Yes, Daddy.
Oh, Siti. With your voice, no teaching my okay. I can't live without you. Talk to me.
Daddy, the money.
Oh, yeah. I'm a... Thank you. Oba money for you. Now that you'll be able to me. What is it? Have you real phone? Yeah, me and my wife. Who is it?
It's your Beneto. You think slave queens are cheap?
Oh,
just use ZPay to send me 1,000 Ghana cedis. After all, the charge is only 5 cedis.
No problem. Come inside. Surprise visit.
The money.
Okay. ZPay mobile money. ZPay.
Oh, thank you so much.
Don't mention.
I can even use the same ZPay mobile money to pay my bills. Now let's
dial *270# to pay all your bills with ZPay mobile money.
ZPay Shatumu Direct.
Ago! Sikaria, listen, I have good news for you. This is guaranteed to make you rich forever and ever.
I know what you're searching for. I'm alerting you.
Ajay, madam, please.
QNet does not make false promises.
What did Mama tell you?
Report suspicious activities at 0256 630
And they call me UJ. When you need a shoulder to
run on my pampe, so we try our suicide. Hey, let bygone be bygone. I didn't see what the body gonna do, we dey go straight to stardom. And I gonna take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The energy next level. Back baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't go next level. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Oh, today he has been extra sweet, and the way he looks at me.
I have done everything by the book. It's on. Hey, but I have to get some condoms, Charlie.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria? Lufat.
Indeed, woman malaria and want to them. Lufat, a malaria drop a cope.
And now you may kiss the bride.
Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center. And I Lufat. Lufat, a two malaria sententem. FDA, Ashasa, a Jedi in Kratoi Ajatum.
From 1921 to 2021, the journey to our centenary has been amazingly worthy. Azar Group is 100 years and continues to achieve greatness.
Main brands which were in the company are Azar Tex, which is an emulsion paint, texture paints, which we were the first people to produce it in Ghana, and Azar Gloss, which is oil paint. We were the first people to produce the carpenter's glue. Now we have new products like silicone paint.
Join Azar Group celebrate 100 years and to create another brilliant 100 years together.
Hey, tell me what? Tell me what? Hey, tell me what? Tell me beer.
Hi, hello again. Thanks for joining us on this side. It's still GTV Breakfast. We're live on Facebook as the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. In the trends, top in the trends, Afena Jan is trending, Wendy is trending, Anita is trending, the airport is trending. On the trend also is the Bacano Sea Defense Project, and that's where we're keeping an eye from. Guy Alan is on standby, and the phase 1 is completed, and so Alan is going to bring us the sights and sounds from that guy that he's screens now. Good morning, Alan. Beautiful scenery behind you. What can you report?
Hi, good morning, Valerie. Thank you very much for coming to us here in Cape Coast. I am currently in between the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, to my west side or south side, and behind me is the Baka River, where you can see a few men working out there. Well, sea defense projects are built to protect communities who live close to the sea. And so you'll expect that people who live close to the sea will cherish such projects and also be grateful or thankful. Unfortunately, some events also encourages the sea pushing these communities out, and among them are sand winning. Even though this project had been built to protect these communities who live just close to the sea to ensure they are protected, the sand winning activities have not stopped yet. The activity has not stopped yet, and so it is still ongoing. And as I speak to you, you can clearly see, as I pan my camera around slightly, you will see a few heaps of them. These are being towed away when I arrived here this morning. But just when my cameras came up, these men decided to abandon it for some moment and then hopefully come back when I am gone. These communities who live out here have made a number of complaints, as far as I understand it, to the municipal assembly to ensure that these are stopped. But no, it is still ongoing. The sea defense project itself is about 6 foot up high in the sky. And so I'm standing up on top of it. And you can see some fishermen trying to draw the net out of the water. And they have to, as it is, try and lift it over the sea defense. And so they come up high to try and get their nets out of the water. This project extends all the way to the back of the Cape Coast Castle. And so if I go around this way slightly and try to zoom in so that I could bring you at least some views from the back of the Cape Coast Castle, let me see how best I can do it. This is supposed to be the phase 1 of the defense project. And so some respite has been provided for these communities who were otherwise at the mercy of the sea. And so during high tides, they will have to leave their homes and obviously find somewhere up high or go to a higher ground to be safe from the water. Thanks to government effort, that is no longer the case. In fact, you can see some are having to renovate their homes to reoccupy them, thanks to the sea defense project. But the problem still persists, and that problem is the sand winning activity. It hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped. It's still ongoing. And so we would seize this opportunity to plead with the municipal assembly to come in once again to try and get these young men who have made sand winning activity their source of income to look at alternative means of generating income. In any case, the Baka River provides some fishing activity, as well as the sea, which is right behind me, also providing some economic activity for them. And so in their own interest and for the safety of these communities who live so close to the sea, it will be good if this sand winning activity is stopped in its entirety. If nothing is done about it, this sea defense project will be pretty much useless. And the reason why I am saying this, let me bring you close to the front of it. You find that due to the weight of the tide, part of the bollards used to protect the communities looks to have been washed out into the sea. Slowly, if the sea is able to push against it, and the sand winning behind this defense project is allowed to go on in the near future, let's give ourselves maybe 10 years. I'm not a seismologist, but let's give ourselves maybe 10 years, maybe 15 years. You'll find that if the front of the sea defense project has been successfully washed out into sea, then by all means, these communities will once again come to the mercy of the sea. And whatever renovations they have been able to put forward or put up so far will come to nothing. They'll have to find another way to relocate or find somewhere else to relocate to. Indeed, it is in the interest of everyone else who is out here to be protected from the activities of sandwinners, so that at least those who have some job to do, i.e. fishing or any other economic activity, will be able to do so freely and also do so with a certain peace of mind. Anything apart from exactly what I have told you, Val, I think this sea defense project will be made useless, if not completely. It will be made partially useless, and those who benefit from it will no longer benefit from it at all. It is indeed, it will be also a waste of taxpayers' money if the activity is allowed to go on. And let me reiterate once more. The bullets that are supposed to protect these communities are slowly being washed away. And this has not been 10 years. And so if that goes, then give ourselves some 10 years. These communities will have to go back, or will have to cry out for government to come to their aid and help them. I don't think government has so much sitting there to redo this whole thing. Once it's done, let's protect it. This so far is the situation at the phase 1 of the sea defense project between Bacano and the Cape Coast Castle. As always, Val, my name is Darrell Alan Tego, your chief laborer. You can follow my Twitter handles at all4dat, and on Facebook and all other social media handles, including IG, I remain all4DAT. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Laborer, all for that on Twitter. And that was Alan with his report from the Bacano Sea Defense Project. Also in the news, a woman has been shot in the back area by police. We're going to be discussing that and talking to a few people. Also, the little girl who fell out of the car, we're going to be discussing that as well and looking at regulations and all of those. And that's going to be discussed by CAF. And the gentlemen who are already seated and getting ready for the headlines. And we're going to be discussing all that's trending. And you can join the conversation via WhatsApp number 05555. And go to Twitter. We are on there as the GBC Ghana, and join the conversation. We'll see you shortly after this break.
.28, you are watching GTV Breakfast. My name is Kafui Day, and that was Alan in the Central Region giving us that report on the Bacano area. And hey, listen, he's up for an award, the Ghana Environmental and Sanitation Awards. Alan Tego, look, go vote for him. All right, we have voted for. We're putting all our vim behind him. I hope he wins and gives him more vim for what he's doing as far as environmental reporting. Okay, so this is our show and your show as well. This is how you get in touch with us. The WhatsApp number is 055-556-1034. 055-556-1034. Across the socials, just put in the hashtag GTV Breakfast and you'll find everything you need to know about what's happening on today's show. My guests are Bernard Odro-Techi, Regional Coordinator, Commonwealth Alliance for Young Entrepreneurs, West Africa. Bernard, good morning. Good to see you. Good morning, Carl. And Dr. Kweku Anani Jinde, who's a corporate governance expert and lecturer at the Gimpa Law Faculty. Good to see you, Doc. You're looking great. I love the pink. What are you ranting about today?
Well, thank you very much. Let me say a very good morning to my people at Kintampo and Bamboy.
Okay.
You see, it's not everything that we have to demonstrate about. There are certain instances where you have to take the matter to court because demonstration will not give you the relief you want. For instance, this Kumasi case where a pipeline got burst at the Kumasi Central Market and the traders were out wailing, crying, and what I heard the mayor say, it was an accident.
What?
Yeah, he said it. That it was an accident, so they should go for private insurance. No. Excuse me. You see, the moment you operate any facility, anybody who comes to that place, you owe a duty of care to that person. And if you fail in that duty, you say you are negligent. You see, the pastors will say that, oh, love your neighbor as yourself. But in law, we say that thou shalt not injure your neighbor. Finish. So what the mayor is saying, the traders should not just go and demonstrate. They should get a lawyer and then you sue the Ghana Water Company and KMA jointly and severally.
What was the extent of damage?
Well, they have to do that assessment. A lot of things got damaged, really, from the videos that I saw, and then the women. You see, this is somebody's livelihood. Instead of saying something to calm down tempers, you tell them, oh, it's an accident. Go to court and tell the court that it's an accident. Because there are a lot of instances dating from 1932, Donahue versus Stevenson. You come to Ghana, Abuaji versus KBL, Asafu versus the Catholic Hospital at Apan. All these are similar to this situation. So if they go, they can get the damages that they want.
One time.
Ranting on the television, demonstrations will not give you the relief that you want. So they should get a court. They should get a lawyer who can take their matter to court. Because sometimes some state institutions think that they are above the law. No. If you operate a facility, you owe a duty of care to anybody who uses that facility. That is why when you go to places like the Wells's Malls or whatever mall, when they clean, you know, they put a sign there. Wet floor. They are putting you on notice.
Exactly.
And apart from that, they also put a notice outside that if you park your car here, you beat out your notice, they put a disclaimer. But the disclaimer does not exonerate you from your duty of care.
No.
So sometimes it's not everything that we have to go on the street to demonstrate. Let's go to the court and get the legal redress that we all need. Demonstration will not give you any compensation or damages. Go and get a good lawyer. You see, if they are suing, they should sue them jointly and severally.
What does that mean?
Because the two of them, they have the responsibility to ensure that nobody's property is damaged.
What does jointly and severally mean?
It means Ghana Water, who is the supplier of that product, which is water, and then KMA, that is the owner, Kumasi Metropolitan. They manage and they own and name and manage that facility. So there are two people. So the two people, they are responsible to ensure that you don't injure anybody who uses that facility. So you don't see KMA, you don't sue KML alone. You sue Ghana Water, and then jointly and severally.
Thank you for the legal education. Free advice on GTV Breakfast, and that's from Dr. Anani Jinde. Kumasi traders, if you've been affected, you know what to do. Find a lawyer and sue the bejesus out of these people. Excellent. Bernard, what's your rant, man?
Carl, good morning to your viewers and your listeners. For me, two issues, quick. One is the GJ recent elections.
Okay.
I got a chance to follow a video, live video, on the president-elects. As being supported by one man called Tobinko, the owner of Tobinko Group of Companies. And there is no propaganda, live video, when he was canvassing. And he went on to say, if this were to be a political election, I would have asked, do you love TV, do you love that? And I'm giving this amount of money. In the live video, you see, we are making election to become the highest bidder. If this were to be MPP, NDC, people will bastardize them. But this is GJA for crying out loud.
Journalists.
And Ghana Journalists Association election, and you have a businessman supporting one candidate. He goes out openly, live video, canvassing. And he's even introducing moneycracy at GJ elections, telling them that if you guys were to be political campaigning, I would have asked you, do you want television? Do you want that? So if tomorrow you people in the GJA fraternity, the MPP NDC come out in election, and they start sharing cars, bicycle, and motor, can you complain? So the guy who won, he should look at me in the face. He had trivialized the very prominence and essence of GJA, and I'll never respect him. Because if tomorrow I'm contesting election in Ghana, and I start sharing TV set and he complains, he's under. Because the media is a policeman on political integrity. So if tomorrow you come into office, you are telling Ghanaians that election is about ocean, and that who has the money wins. I followed the election keenly. Gayharts and one other guy, Agbenu, and I was thinking one of them should win to facelift the GJA. Then somebody comes in and through monetization, he wins. And there is no hearsay. I can share the live video to you now, and you play for people to watch. Where Tobinko was saying it proudly, as if that in Africa and in Ghana, elections is about one who has money. If we are not careful, criminal can be president one day. In my candid view, I'm not against the guy who won. He could have won on his merits, but the circumstances leading to his victory is questionable. And I'm telling him today, in the 2024 election, you should not make any comment on inducement. Because he will call for equity must come with clean hands. So if tomorrow, Mahama, Nana, Baumia start sharing money, would that guy have the guts to write against it? Because you became DJ president through monetization. And they call you Mr. President. So you see, Cav, the journalists in Ghana, you are telling we, the mainstream politician, that you should do it more. Because you have set the pace. And the pace is that Ghana is going to be purely monetized. And you see, those young politicians coming out, they are going to learn tricks from that video. That to win election, get a big business person in Ghana to be your campaign manager. Because Tobinko virtually was a campaign manager for the guy. And he went on to say that a certain past regime destroyed my business. So I am getting this guy to be the facelift to protect my business. Is that how DJ is supposed to be? Including you CAF. Is that how it's supposed to be? So he comes out to be president, MP, to be a DCE, assembly member, and start sharing money. Can you guys write against it? It's over to you.
Sorry. It means they generally took money.
They took money. It's clear. It's in the video. It's in the video. And I can share the video here. It's not like I'm conjecturing. This is real. And they've shown us how to win election in Ghana. Don't be surprised to see in 2024 election people buy votes. Because the GJ president-elect has shown us the way. And you see, media is supposed to educate, entertain, and inform. Where is the education in that video? So you have won an election premised on monetization. So if tomorrow you see politicians dissipating money, sharing money, can you talk against it? I'm sorry, but he goofed. And he has set a very bad precedent. And trust me, posterity will never forgive that guy. Second one, roads in my municipality.
Make it short for me.
Short. Sunyani West, look as if you are not part of Ghana.
You are.
It looks like we are not Ghanaians.
Your roads are not good.
And you know what? 2 months to last election, they cut a sword. Big fanfare. The president himself was there. A sword was cut. And after the election, the contractor just vermouth out of the road. He's nowhere to be found. So I'm pleading with the Minister for Road and Highway. Sunyani West Township, Odumase, Chira, and Suatre Fiebre. People say that the road you came down there to cut the sword. They are waiting for the construction.
All right. Thank you so much. Those are the two big rants there. GJA elections, roads in Sunyani West, and the need for people to take legal action if they have been wronged or they feel they've been wronged by government or state institutions. What do you think about these rants? 055-556-1034. My rant has to do with public safety and the care of children, because I saw a video over this weekend and my heart just check out this video and I'll have a chat with somebody who should be telling us a little bit about education as far as children and vehicles is concerned. Check this out.
Some of the occasions and events and things. Look, last week somebody, they have conference rooms around it. Somebody posted a comedy event in you understand? And so I understand the secretary to the trustees, for example, said that there have been certain events cannot be allowed, and it's fine. Yeah. Generally, when you have structures of that nature, you can allow somebody. They have conference rooms around it. Somebody posted a comedy event in you understand? And so I understand the secretary to the trustees, for example, said that there have been certain events cannot be allowed, and it's fine. Yeah. Generally, when you have structures of that nature, you can allow some of these things. And I think they have been one of the things that began to cause problems.
If this man, the guy behind, was tailgating, if he was so close to that car, what would have happened? What if the motorbike had hit that little baby that fell out of the car? And what's a baby doing falling out of a moving car? What happened to child seats? What happened to child lock? On the line, I have Executive Director, Top Tech Transport and Logistics. His organization is one of the organizations tasked with training drivers and road safety matters, Cecil Eko Gabra. Good morning, Cecil. How are you?
Good morning, Kafu. You remember I'm Ebo. I was born on a Tuesday.
Oh, Ebo, I beg your pardon. My eyes need fixing. So, Cecil, Ebo Gabra, did you see that video of this baby falling out of the vehicle?
Yes, good morning to your cherished viewers. Yes, I have seen it. I was extremely shocked when I saw the video. I would want to know if the woman went back to say thank you to the man who saved the daughter's or the son's life. There was also an argument on a group chat that I picked up, and people were arguing, why did the man record it? And I said, no, the man did not record it with his phone. This is not a phone, it's a dash cam. People who don't know dash cams could be installed on your front or back and back windshield to record events on the road. There's the need for all of us to even have it on our vehicle. Now, coming back to the incident itself, every parent needs to purchase what we called child restraint support seat. Child restraint support seat. That is what we call baby seat, but the real name is child restraint support seat. And now, if you look at the LI, to be precise, LI 210, subsection 119, clause 5, it talks about you, the mother, or the parent, not to put any child in the front seat who is less than 5 years of age. So if the child is 5 years of age, don't put that child in the front seat. Again, when you go to look at the manufacturer specifications of any vehicle, tells you again that don't put any child who is less than 12 years of age in the front seat because of the airbag. So what's next? You would have to buy the appropriate child restraint support seat, and then if you are driving with your child alone, put that child in the appropriate seat. We have age groups from 5 and above up to even 12, 13. Put that child in the child restraint support seat. Now, what you need to do first is that you would have to put the seat out and then lock the child seat from behind first. Put that child in and strap the child with the shoulder seat belt of the child restraint support seat so that the child cannot first of all get up. Now, when that should be always on the right because the steering is on your left. So it should be on the right back. So when you are driving, you can turn right, which is much easier to look and see whether your child is comfortably seated. And so now the major thing that happened in this case is that whether the child was in a support seat or not, the child lock of the rear door wasn't locked. Now, every vehicle has got that system. I'm sure I sent that to you yesterday.
It's on the screen right now. Tell us about the child lock facility. We can see it right now.
Okay. Well, I'm not watching TV anyway. So the child lock is just like, where you will have to put it on. When you put it on, anybody seated at the rear seat cannot open the door from the original door opener, unless somebody will go back outside and open that door, and then that should be the responsibility of the driver or the parent. Now we have natural locks, that is automatic locks. Immediately you start your car, you engage drive or your first speed, and then you start moving the doors. All the doors of the vehicle will lock. Right, that's automatic lock. But this is a child lock that if it's even opened, the child can never open it from where she or he is seated. Now, some also come with a key. That is your car key itself can turn on the child lock and then unlock it. Right, so that is what this parent should have done. You not put the child in the back seat unattended. The laws of our republic do not accept this. So that woman herself must be arrested for doing that. She has done something wrong according to the LI 2180119. Don't put your child alone at the back seat. Don't put your child alone in the front seat. Now, the other thing that we need to talk about is that when schools are reopening, you see children also behind the back seat, at the back seat, but this time they are standing in the pillars of the two doors, and that is rather very dangerous. Anytime the driver goes on the brake, I am telling you, Kafri, that child will fly over through the windscreen, and then you, the driver, will run over this child. It's a serious offense. Children must be seated at the right, and they must use the appropriate seat. Now, mothers, you will also find that mothers will sit in the front seat and have their children on their lap. Oh, my dear. Anytime I see it, in fact, my heart bleeds, so I'll just stop and then go back and correct it. Right? Kafu, I'm saying all these things, and I'm not shy to say that in 2001, to be precise, on February 5th, my wife had a terrible accident with my only son seated at the back seat. Seated in the child restraint support seat. Had it not been the restraint support seat, I would have lost my only son, and then in fact, my wife was also in a terrible condition. For 2 years, my son could not raise his hand up. In fact, I don't want to tear. So this is a practical example that we must learn from. That don't put your child alone in the back seat without the child restraint support seat. And again, mothers must not allow their children to sit on their laps, okay, at the front seat. It is wrong. You see children that they have, two children in the front seat, and then they have put the seat belt around them. That is so wrong. So we need a lot of education, and we are coming up with a lot of pamphlets that will circulate to the nurseries, and as part of our 25th anniversary. Because of COVID, we did not celebrate it last year, so we are starting the process next month, and it's all by education, school children. This is one serious fact that we'll be talking about. In fact, I have been touched. I was really touched when I saw the video today, and we've been discussing it a lot. Right. Children must be saved when they are seated in the car. And then we should also know that at any speed that we are traveling at, if it is 80 kilometers per hour, all the occupants are running 80 kilometers per hour. So when there's any crash or when there's any stop, we have to stop or stop before the 80 kilometers per hour, which is very impossible, Kafui.
Cecil, thank you so much for this education. I have here with me Dr. Kweku Anani Jinde and Bernard Odrotechi, my panelists. I wonder whether they have any questions for you with respect to what we just saw. Bernard, any questions for Cecil?
No, for me.
Doc?
No.
You're good. What is this lady looking at if she's arrested?
Well, the laws are so clear, and I'm sure she must be charged for child neglect. And then, if so, I'm sure that fine could be about 250 penalty units, which could be maybe about 1,800 or so. But she must be arrested. It's a traffic offense.
Cecil, we'll leave it right here. Thank you so much, Cecil Ebo Gabra, Executive Director of Top Tech Institute, and he's been giving us education on child safety. And Doc, your comments when you saw this video.
I was surprised. I said, how can a parent do this? I was shocked. You see, sometimes I think most of the drivers we find on our route, I think not all of us are very sane. Because what has happened, I think that is the highest mark of insanity. So if I had any option, I would have advised that we send the woman for some medical examination to examine her mind. Because no woman in her right senses would do what she did. And apart from that, I think if you also look at the Criminal and Other Offences Act, she should be arrested and charged with criminal negligence.
What is the punishment for criminal negligence?
Criminal negligence, you can go in for 3 years.
If this had happened in Germany, what do you think would have been there?
Well, first and foremost, you'll be arrested. they will take you to a psychiatrist to examine you, and then your license will be withdrawn for some time, and then after that you will go back to school and learn how to baggle your child in a car.
Okay, so they're trying to correct.
They will correct you. They won't just let you go. They will correct you to make sure that you don't do it, and your license may be withdrawn for some time, and then you have to go back to school, and then you learn how to start a car, how to baggle your child in a car properly, how to use a children's seat. You know, you'll be taken through all these things, because as a parent they teach you all these things, and if you do that, for them they don't take lightly some of these things, especially when it comes to children, because they know they are the future. They are the future taxpayers. So I think the woman should be arrested.
Would she face a custodial sentence in some countries?
Well, in some countries, well, not necessarily. You'll be given those sentences, but they will not let you serve those sentences. But it will be on your record that you've been convicted.
Could they take the child away from her?
Well, if possible, they will have to do some medical examination to find out if you are okay. If you are not okay, they'll take the child away from you. Because even in Ghana, the Children's Act, the state has the right to protect the children from some of this negligent conduct. So, I mean, there are a lot of avenues open to the police. They can look at the Children's Act, they can look at the Criminal and Other Offences Act, they can look at the legislation my brother is talking about. There are a lot of laws.
And I think we're even forgetting that the child must be taken to the hospital for an examination. Because the child fell out of a moving car.
Yeah, anything could have happened to him. If you don't take that child to the hospital, it might affect him in the future.
Bernard, what are your thoughts when you saw this video?
I'll look at it from insurance and risk management. Per insurance rules and engagement, the woman is supposed to have a driving license. And there's a concept in insurance called subrogation, which simply means not allowing negligent third people to go scot-free. Now, that child you saw, if the child sustained any injury, be it major or minor, is entitled to some claimable amounts.
From the
insurance company.
Yeah.
But after the insurance company has paid that claim to the child, they will then search out the mother, because it falls under subrogation. Because the mother is a negligent third party. Because the child at this moment is seen to be like a passenger. And through no fault of the child, he's fallen down from a vehicle that is insured. And this has to do with the DVLA. How do we issue driving licenses to people? Because quite frankly, if this woman, this lady had gone through all the rudiment to acquire driving licenses, she wouldn't have done what she did. Could it be through the quack means, just sitting home? People sit in the home and get driving licenses. So one is about insurance and risk management. And every insurance company under whose custody this lady has a policy should be going to question her. Because any damage that arises is claimable. And they're supposed to pay. But after they've made that payment to the child, according to insurance rules, the mother must be set out to pay. Because there is a negligent aspect on her part. So there is also to say that all vehicles on the road mostly must have an enhanced third-party limit. Other than that, third party get injured, be it major, minor, they take limited claim amount and they suffer consequentially. But I also believe that the woman needs some psychiatric treatment. That will also help.
Okay. My final point is that Ghana police freeze the video, identify the car number, and find this woman. It should be simple. Yeah, it should be simple. Wow. Before your messages, we have another hot story that we want to bring to you. And this has to do with Kolog Talata, young lady who was shot in the buttocks at Karimenga in the northeast region, is seeking justice over what she described as attempts by the police to harm her for no reason. Now, Kolog Talata was said to have been shot in the buttocks by the police at the Namiyala police barrier on the 17th of May, 2022, when she was returning from her house. Returning home from Palugu. From GBC News' investigations, the officers who shot Talata knew her very well because she uses that road to work and back daily. And inquiries have further revealed that there have been several attempts by the officers at the checkpoint to date Talata, but she tells them she's married. Let's check out this story, and then we'll speak to her and find out exactly what the situation is with young Talata.
Kologo Talata was said to have been shot in the buttocks by the police at Namiyala police barrier on the 17th of May 2022 on her way home from Palugu. From GBC News investigations, the officers who shot Talata know her very well because she uses that road to work and back daily. GBC News inquiries have further revealed that there have been several attempts by the police officers at the checkpoint to date Talata, but she tells them she is married.
I know him before because sometimes I always been passing there and they'll call me that I should come and give my number to them. Me I always say me I will not give my number to you because I have husband. So I don't know because of that he did and then he showed me he was having that mind or what and what. Me I don't know. So they were blaming the other the one who shot me. That he didn't try. Every day I've been passing here morning evening. Sometimes they always took me and come and drop and then I'll walk and come.
Though treated and discharged, Talata says she goes for periodic medical review at the Palugu Health Center after they visited a local herbalist at DRA to remove the bullets from her body. She says she now suffers from severe headaches, pains in her waist and continuous diarrhea.
Me, I don't have anybody who helped me again. The police, up to now, the police they didn't come to visit me. Even I'm there or not, they didn't come. So I want to tell the Ghana president that he should help me so that I will see what I'm going to do. But now, every 3 days I have to go to hospital. Every 3 days I have to go to hospital.
GBC News team has tried to reach the Upper East Regional Police PO, ASP David Fianco Ochre, on several occasions to get their side of the story, but this has not been successful. The police PRO says they are still investigating the matter and is not ready to comment or say anything further on the matter.
That's a really sad story. Let's get on the line now and speak with Kologo Talata herself. Good morning. How are you this morning? This is Kafui from GTV Breakfast. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Talata. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I am doing very well. I mean, how do you feel with this story, that this incident that happened to you in May? What's the latest so far, Talata?
Okay. That was May 17th. So every day, I'm working at Palugu. So every day, we always walk. One will get things like this, and then they'll go and drop us. And so that was 17th May that I was coming. I was from work coming to the house. So around, it was even 4 going to 5 like that. So I got to this Palugu upper quadrant side. So I saw the motor coming, and I begged. The guy came and stopped. So the guy asked me, "That where am I going?" And I said, "Oh, please, I'm going to Karamenga." He's not going to Karamenga. He's going to Namiyala. And I said, "Okay." Then she just drop me there, so I'll walk and then go to Karamenga. And the guy said, "Okay." So the guy picked me, we go to Namiyala, and the guy said, "Okay." He was coming to look for labor so that tomorrow they will go and shoot and this for me. So I said, "Okay." And the guy said then I should let him just drop me because the journey is so far. The guy just too small. So we go to the police barrier, they stop. And the guy stopped there. And they asked for helmet. And the guy said, "Oh," he was not knowing that he passed the side. He was coming to Namayala. But because he was coming and then I begged him that I'm going to Carmena. So we go to Namayala and he just want to drop me and then come back. The journey is so far. So he's begging them. And there were 2 policemen. So the one who is in Tamale side, he was asking of the element. So the guy explained and then he understand that, oh, then he should go and drop me and come back. So the one who is in Walwali side, he was holding the barrier. It was not closed. So we just moved to go now and then he pushed the barrier and the barrier came and knocked us before. And the guy said, "Why? We are not running." You put stop and then we explain and the other policeman said we should go. We pushing the barrier to let us go. That when he moved, we shoot. And the guy said, "Is it because of helmet that you say if I move, you shoot?" So the guy just tell the policeman like that, and the guy just moved with the motor. So I was sitting the motor And I fine, 2 times. I told the guy that he should stop. They shot me. So the guy just stopped. I was trying to get down. I couldn't stand. I just fell on the roadside. And the guys ran and then go to the distance. So later, I was lying down crying, struggling to see whether I would call my parents and then inform them that what happened to me. So I couldn't even see my do anything to and then called my parents. So I was just lying down crying. So some people were there, boys were there playing football. They hear the sound, or they shoot. And I was lying on the roadside crying. So they ran and came and they asked me, and the police who shot me. And some of them, they were there struggling to see whether they'll get me and then send me to the hospital. And some of them went and asked them that, you did this thing to the girl and you didn't try to send her to hospital and see whether they will get some this thing to the girl. And you people are there doing your own thing. So the one who shot me, he picked a wood to beat one of them. Their dad, they said, you did this thing to our sister and we came to ask you and you are there to beat us again. And they were there fighting. That time, I was even lying down crying. So later on, two of the policemen, they came with a car. So they asked and then they told them that they shot one of their sister. So they came and saw me and they were blaming me. Why? Every day, morning, evening, I've been passing here. Even sometimes, when they saw me, they always pick me with their car and come and drop here. So even when they don't even know the guy, but they know me, they don't have the right to shoot that way. They should have left and the guy will go and drop me and come back and then they'll ask me to stand. They're not to shout. So my parents was annoyed that what they did to me and they didn't try to send me to the hospital. So they were there fighting with them. And then the other two policemen now said that they came and picked me with the car and then we go to Boga. When we go to Boga, I was lying down crying. They didn't even do anything to me. So the doctor came and told me that I shouldn't take any water.
Right.
That was Tuesday, that day. So I lied down. Since in the morning, that Tuesday, I didn't eat. So since that day, they told me that I shouldn't take anything. So I lied down, crying. They didn't even do anything to me.
And the bullets were still in you?
And the bullets too were still in me. So Wednesday evening, they didn't say anything again. And they said I shouldn't eat. I shouldn't take any water. And the bullet is still on me. And I was just crying, no medicine. It's only this thing that they always drop on me. Drip. So and later on that they said they should go for a different
X-ray? You went for an X-ray? Did you go for an X-ray?
And that we should go for X-ray.
Okay.
So my parents called. They didn't come cry. The following day, they didn't come Wednesday. So, for 7 knock, they didn't see them. 8 knock, and they said we should go for X-ray. So, one of my brother called them, and we're asking them that, since in the morning, yesterday, that you bring our sister, you didn't even show anything. And they said we should go for X-ray. You didn't show anything.
So, Talata, to cut the story short, when did they take the bullets out of your buttocks?
Huh?
When did they take the bullets out of your buttocks?
It was Friday.
Wow.
Friday, that was me.
They shot you on Tuesday and they took the bullets out on Friday.
And Diali.
Who took the bullets out?
Especially this man.
It was it in the hospital?
No, it was not in the hospital. The hospital, they told me that I should be coming for dressing. And that the bullet will come.
Will come out by itself. So who took the bullets out? Where did you go and have the bullets taken out? Biali. Is it a doctor?
No, it was not a doctor. Traditionally.
A traditional healer took the bullets out of your buttocks. How did he do it?
So medicine that he just put on it, and he pressed
And the bullet came out.
It came.
Okay, so we are looking at some bullets on the screen. Those are the bullets that he took out? Is that what he's saying?
It was, they shot those, my bottles and my, hands and my, thighs, you know.
And you say the police, Ghana police have not contacted you after this, what happened to you?
Since 17th May up to now, they didn't even come to visit me and see what happened to me. Now, up to now, they didn't even call.
Did any of your relatives make an attempt to go and report? Have they filed a formal report to the Ghana police complaining about this brutality?
My parents, because they didn't come to visit me, so my parents decided to, and then our community chief, they decided and then they went there with me. So as we went there, and they asked, and the police commander was even insulting my parents and told one of my brother that when he choked, to slap him is because of our chief.
So the police commander threatened your brother. And
my father too was there, Kora.
And then this chap who you say shot you, is he still at post? The guy, the gentleman who you claim shot you, is he still working as a police officer in the area?
No, I don't know whether he's still coming or not.
What do you want? Okay, what would you want to happen going forward with this? What has happened to you? What outcome are you looking for? What do you want to happen?
Me, like they see, I'm a final year. Now they listen to me. I'm not working again. Now, even now, one of my junior called my senior. That week, no, we're even doing the mock. So that week, this days that the girl called me, that they are registered. So they are paying the registration fee. You know. Now, my parents, they don't have money again.
You said
me too, my body is now paining me. They like if I'm walking, I'm hearing pain.
You're hearing
I
pain.
can't walk again.
I'm sorry to hear this. So you said you are a final year of what institution? Where are you a final year student of?
Please,
You said you are a final year student. Is that correct? Where?
Palugu.
Okay.
Seamstress.
Okay. This is really so sad. I'm so sorry for what has happened to you. I don't know whether my panelists have any questions you want to ask.
I think no, but I'm trying to reach out to some lawyers in the region. And I wish I'm a lawyer. I would have offered pro bono service to this lady. It is absurdity. Look, this IGP, we always say it and it's like, I don't have personal issue with him, but the stupidity in the system under him is getting too much. And you see, vicarious liability will tell you that, if people are working under you and they go off, there are some responsibility you have to take. And then it's just getting too much. And you see, the police have the Police Professional Standard Bureau. Exactly what are they doing?
Let me just wrap it up with Talata and then I'll get your comments. So, Talata, so now you can't move around well, and you are feeling pains in your body, and I'm sure you must have spent your relatives must have spent money to look after you. How do you feel about the Ghana police at this moment?
If we didn't do anything to them, so I don't even know what to do. My parents, they are now complaining. So me too, I'm blind, and they dream. When we went to the border, they said they will not pay the DL money, they don't pay any money. That they'll be there. So now I don't even know what to do to them again.
Do you feel safe in the community? Do you feel safe? Are you scared?
Please, I don't understand.
Are you scared? Are you how are you feeling right now? Really? Are you afraid? I'm afraid. Now I don't know whether the thing
what will happen to me later. Because the thing is failing now, I don't know.
We're going to follow this up and make sure that you get the help that you deserve, okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much for talking.
I don't even understand. Because sometimes if I'm passing there, they always ask for my number. I should give my number to them. I always tell them that, oh, I have husband, so I don't know. Is it because of that they saw me and the guy and they thought that's my husband or my boyfriend and they shot me that way? I don't even know.
Do you know the name of the police officer who shot you?
No.
You don't know him. But can you identify him if you see him? You can. Okay.
I know that, but sometimes like that, so different group. They told me one day I was passing and they asked of my number. I said no, I have husband. And they told me that every day if I'm passing here and they called me, I always say I have husband. But if something happens to me, what will I say? And I said, because you people are here, that thing, if something happens to me, I have to come and tell you people.
Yeah.
Is it because of the number that you are saying that if something happens to me? That was April, and then this May that you shot me.
Then they shot you.
So that's why I don't even know. Is it because of that they did to me or what?
Yeah, lots of questions. We really empathize with you. We're really sorry about what happened, but we're going to go beyond just feeling sorry. We're going to chase this up for you and make sure that you get the justice that you deserve, okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. Talata Kologo, lady who was shot by, she says she was shot by some police officers. And she's looking for justice. Doc?
Well, you see, from the very beginning, I got the impression that she was just walking and then somebody just shot her. But now, I think the reportage was not very complete. The impression I got was that, somebody was walking somewhere and then they just shot her. But if you look at the narration, you listen to the narration very well, she was not the target. The guy who was riding, the motor rider, was the target. And even if you stop someone and is not, the person is not stopping, I don't think shooting is the right approach. And the other, so up to that, we've not heard the side of the police. So it's very difficult for me to make any judgment because we always believe that the right of the other party to be heard. The alternate party, listen to the other side. So until we get that, it will be difficult for me to draw any conclusion. But what I want to say is that no matter what, the police, they are there to protect us. They are not the police force. It's a police service. It is service that they are providing. So the way they interact and relate to the public should be that of a service provider. It was not for nothing that the champion changed the name from Ghana Police Force to Ghana Police Service, because they are supposed to be providing service.
Are they?
Well, I don't know. But per this conduct, I don't think that's what they're doing. But not all of them. Even if you listen to what they say, even some of his own colleagues were blaming him. So we cannot lump everybody together. These are some of the incidents that, and in every organization, you have some of these misfits or people who do not want to play by the rules. So let's wait. Let's see the other side of the story, and then we may be able to draw a conclusion.
They should have taken the person to the hospital at least.
At least.
Yes.
At least. In case even you injure somebody, you take him to the hospital for medical treatment. And then the person has been there for so many years. Nobody has visited him or nobody has visited her. I know the IGP is an action man. When the thing happened in Kumasi, within the next 2 hours, he was there. Yeah. Although nobody was shot, nobody was killed, but he was there just to give the assurance that he is on top of his job. But this one, it has happened since May.
Yeah.
And then the lady is still lamenting, crying for justice. And I mean, this should not be happening in this country
at
now.
all. And our news team has called the Upper East Regional PRO, ASP David Fianco Ochre, on several occasions to get their side of the story, but we've not been successful. The police PRO says they are still investigating the matter, and they're not ready to comment or say anything.
No, but even if you are still investigating, you can just give the facts. Yes. What happened there? I know the boys went to brief him. This is what happened when we went on this operation. They are not asking you for the outcome of the investigation. They just want the facts. So that we know what happened.
Thank you very much.
But you don't keep, you see, if you do this, you create more room for suspicion. Because in the media space, if you don't fill it with something, somebody will fill it with something else.
This is another case for somebody probably taking a state institution on and suing them.
Yeah. He should get a lot. But you see, unfortunately, most of our northern brothers, including myself, most of the lawyers are in Accra. Look at, if you go to Upper East, Upper West, the number of lawyers are not up to 10.
Wow.
Yes. All the northern region, Upper East, Upper West, all their lawyers are in Accra.
Wow.
You go to Upper East, their lawyers, private lawyers are not up to 10. You go to Upper West, I think they are about 12 or so. Wow. All of them are in Accra because Accra is where the money is.
Wow. But we need justice everywhere.
Well, you need justice everywhere.
Yes, yes.
So that's why I always tell my students, the moment you finish GIMPA and then you go to your village and practice. There's a lot of work there. Techima, Nkranza, Kintampo, there's a lot of work there.
Don't they ask you, but Doc, you are here. Why do you want
Well, me, because I'm teaching. Okay. Actually, when I was relocating to Ghana, I was looking at Catholic University at Fiapre.
Okay.
But the guy who was there, who wanted to start the law faculty, I think he had a problem with the bishop, Professor Hoxley.
That's a serious problem.
So he left. I actually wanted to go to Sunyani.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to go to any public university in Ghana because of this nasty politics going on there.
Nasty, pound.
They're very nasty.
Bernard, your thoughts?
Kaf, you saw how passionate I was.
Yes.
I've been a victim of gunshot before.
Exactly.
So what is it?
Talata.
What she's going through now, I've gone through it some years back.
Physically.
And you know, the hospital is not good at removing the bullets. So when I had my gunshot, I was in hospital for 1 year, 6 months.
Lord have mercy.
Yes. So I stayed in hospital some months in Sunyani, some months in Kwalebu, and I was taken to Techimentia, some of these traditional herbalists, for them to pull out the bullet. So I can relate to the story. Very painful. And you see...
1.5 years.
Yes. In hospital. I had a gunshot bullet in my right leg.
How old were you?
Then I just completed my BC then.
Wow.
Yes, so 18 months in hospital. Look, they declared they were going to amputate my leg. So lucky for me, there were some Cuban doctors who had come and Dr. Richard Anane at that time, Kofor's time.
Yeah, 2000 and early.
So they had dressed me out for amputation. I was on the trawler. They were pulling me to go and amputate my right leg. Then God being so good, this Cuban doctor was passing around. They were doing visitation. He said, oh, what is wrong with that guy? And one doctor upon that time, Dr. Dogo in Sunyani said, oh, he had a gunshot fatal one and he's earmarked for amputation. They said, no, let me check it. So they pull out the gun, the wound, the whole kneecap was gone and said he can fix it. So they then transferred me from Sunyani to Kwalebu. And I spent 3 months in Kwalebu. So whatever she's going through, I have direct feeling. I can relate.
How did the bullet enter your right leg?
Whole big story. If I shared, you cry. But the long and short is that, let me come to the Ghana, please. My father was also my father's brother was a police officer. So I know how they behave. They always protect each other. They always protect each other. Ghana, please. See, I was one of the guys who hailed IGP, but now he's become a celebrity IGP. It looked like he's taken the media fanfare, and that's what he's doing now. People are not happy with Mr. IGP. When you came, I was one of the people who hailed you because you brought morale, positive one, to the Ghana Police Service. But today the morale is going down. Go around and take opinion poll on your service to Ghanaians. People are not happy, IGP. Dr. Dampra, excuse me. I love you, but now you are going down. If you are not careful, you will go down one of the worst IGP in the history of this country. Look, check around. Every day, police officers are misbehaving. And you see, they have what you call the Police Professional Standard Bureau. When you report case to them, forget it. Nothing happens there. They'll just throw it away. Nothing happens. So people don't have the confidence to go there. We have the SHRAJ. We have the Ministry for Gender and Social Protection. That is what the lady needs, social protection. You asked her a direct question that, are you safe? She said no. Because of what they are telling my parents. So who will rescue this country? And you know, why did they change from police to police? If the police cannot protect us, then where do we go? Mr. IGP, today I'm on you, and I have to be on you. Because when you came, the morale you brought to Ghana, myself, I was one of his advocates everywhere. And look, my uncle told me that don't defend this IGP. Don't, because you see, your late father was also a police officer, and they protect each other. He should come for his tone. He should come for his tone. Mr. IGP, me, I'm being honest with you. I used to love you, but now a zero with you. People are not happy.
What should Talata do?
No, I was even trying to get somebody, a lawyer there, to just offer pro bono service. Because gunshot is not... And you see, one thing about gunshot is that you feel the pain deep in the night. Yeah. When everybody is asleep, that is where you feel the pain. I have gone through it. 18 months in hospital. And when I was going to even SS, they said they would not admit me because at that time I was in clutches. So I went through the experience for almost 3 years, dressing and handling my wounds. And this is it. Democracy, excuse me, this is no democracy. We are heading towards kakistocracy. People are not happy. Mr. IGP, sit up. If you are not careful, when history is written when you are not there, you'll be the worst IGP in the history of this country. I'm sorry, but CAF, this is the way to go. He must sit up. He's become a celebrity IGP. He takes interest in the media hype, dancing, holding states around. That is not what people need. People are messing up. The Professional Standard Bureau under him is not working. Matters of this nature, do you know what you do? You petition the PIPs. I mean, I speak with fact. One of the director of the PIPs was a student I taught. Because I was handling this University of London Law School in Ghana. So one of the part directors of PIPs is my former student. So I'm not just talking, I know what I'm saying. People will petition the PIPs and they will throw it down. Why will people go there?
You know, with the PIPs, I've had my own personal experience. One of my guys at Kitaboy had problem with the police. And then we were supposed to go and petition. I went there. Even I just went there ordinarily. They treated me with contempt. PIPs, they have no respect for anybody. I don't know why they're doing that, but these are people we are paying with my taxes. So the PIPs must sit up. If need be, the IGP should reorganize the place. Because the people there now, they don't take anybody serious. If you are not an MP, if you are not a minister, you come with people, if you just go there as an ordinary citizen like me, they don't take you serious. So we need to look at the PIPs. Because they are supposed to be maintaining and keeping the professional standards in place. So if they are not doing their work, where are we now? So IGP, look at the PIPs.
We're on the police today, and thank you very much, Bernard, for sharing. I can still see the pain. The pain in you.
You see, Cap, last one. If the PIPs works, we wouldn't need even the court or anybody. No. Because the PIPs will educate on this matter and award compensation to Talata. And it will end there. But let anybody petition the PIPs.
No, forget it.
As soon as you leave that office, they will throw your letter in the dustbin. I'm challenging them. Because one of their part directors was my student. He's now a retired police officer.
Thank you so much. We're going to take your messages right now on 055-556-1034. There's some audio also going around about some Osofo who nearly had his house broken into by some people who were claiming to be police officers, but it turned out that they were not, because Osofo went and placed a call to 18555 saying that their people are around, and also it turns out that those people were not criminals, but they were wearing uniforms. They had a car with the blue, white, and red flashing lights. The question is, where did they get the uniforms from? Where did they get the vehicle from? What's going on with the Ghana police? We want to be a Ghana police that we can trust. A Ghana police where if somebody attacks you, you report to them and you are sure that you will get the justice that you deserve. Not a police that we will not be sure of. And you know, when that happens, then people take the law into their own hands, and that is not where we want to go. So it's a passionate appeal from all of us here. Both of my panelists have shared very touching stories about why we need these things to be done, and we commiserate with Talata, and we'll make sure that we get on this case and get justice for her. We're going to do justice to your messages right now. Thelma is standing on attention or at attention for your messages. Thelma, your messages.
Hi, Kath. Good morning. I think the police have their hands full with the panel this morning, and you also think the same way. Just taking a quick glance through some of the messages that you've sent at 05555610034. These are the thoughts of those who sent them, and not that of GBC. So I'll go straight to what I have on the screen now. And Nana Kofi is saying, good morning, GTV. Please, this police brutality is becoming too much. At least one officer must be punished for his unprofessional conduct. Now the civilians are losing trust in the security personnel in Ghana because instead of the police protecting us, they now turn against us. Quite a worrying trend. PB saying good morning, CAF, to you and all your listeners. Thank you for sending that message across. Nana B joins and says the police must be faced. These shouldn't happen. Who are police? Are they not human beings? There is no investigation on these matters. He must be arrested immediately. Michael is saying so from Adenta Housing Down. Another viewer says, Dr. Jinde, there was 2 people on duty and the other person let it pass. If there are issues, there should be consultation and exercises of discretion. They call it number 6. The discipline is not there anymore and serious retraining should be done, or otherwise a veiled threat there implying many things. I'm trying to think of the messages that are more directed to what we are talking about. The other man blaming IGP should do a holistic analysis. Has the issue been reported? I think no one took them on or reported them to the highest authority, so that should be done. All those SHS boys called police, they should be sacked, is what Atta Njoyan is saying. Alhaji Dauda joins. Dear doctor, lawyer on the show, you say people should stop demonstrations and go to court. Will you agree to give them free legal service? Because court issues are expensive issues, and Alhaji Dauda is asking cost implications. More messages coming in. Good morning, Kafi. The Ghana Police Service should know that they are mandated to serve the state and not the government. Why are they allowing themselves to be used? I want to ask, what time was the Doomsday demonstration in 2015? Oh, Ghana Police, please, 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 please. Alhaji Haruna from Ashaiman. Nana Kojo. Good morning, Kafi. Someone was nearly killed. They're investigating the case. Why are these law enforcers treating some civilians like animals? The police has to be serious. What was Bengi saying? Good morning, Kafi. Very disheartening to see the very police who are to protect us rather killing us. How does the IGP feel to hear the police being mentioned always for bad reasons? It's about time we check how recruitment are being done to our security services, especially the police. The police brutality has become too rampant and disheartening. Hashtag drop the cathedral. Ras Bengi from Accra. Let me pick a few more. Reverend Solomon, I'm broken this morning watching a child falling off from the moving vehicle. I think the child needs to be taken for medical examination ASAP. The mother should be arrested to face the law. The child should be given to a more responsible parent. I have so much to say about this if granted an opportunity to educate the public about child safety in general and vehicles specifically. Reverend Solomon Odum from Atimanto is saying this. I have a lot to share about children falling out from vehicles and child safety in particular, but I'll save my own rant for when I also take the seat.
And the child was taken to the hospital yesterday and has been discharged. So
I think that the mother should have some questions to answer. The responsibility lied solely with the mother. Kaf Benateche has got me into delirious laughter this morning. It's what Trisha is saying. If we are not careful, criminals will become president one day. They already are. This is the joke of the century. Kudos to your astute Monday panel. The lady with the baby in the car must be arrested and charged to be a cue to other offenders. I noticed in Ghana, a lot of drivers keep their children in front of their cars. Even some have them behind the steering wheel while driving. We have taxi drivers with their cars loaded with school children who they pick up and drop them at home. Do the parents value their children? I always ask myself, Trisha, the same questions I was just asking Valerie a few minutes ago about parental responsibility for children in moving cars. Joins and says, good morning, Ghana is still the most peaceful country across Africa. Thank you for sending your message across to us. I want to pick the more specific ones to what we've discussed this morning. Lawyers' rant is true, but is it the case in Ghana? Companies like ECG and Ghana Water Company carry on their activities like they are doing you a favor. So it's no wonder they questioned what happened as an accident, forgetting their responsibility. Kweku from Efie Kuma. I'm trying to get all your messages today. Good morning, GTV. My name is Ransford from Water Region. I'm of the view that it's not cars that we should ensure safety, but every machine that we are using, we must ensure safety measures. It's very important to lives. That's why most machines come with manuals. So play by the books. Good morning, Kweku from Kumasi. I think coupe cars, 2 doors, are very safe for kids. There's no doors in the back for them to even open. Unfortunately, most Ghanaians say they cannot pick people on the way, so they don't like those cars. So let me scroll straight to the top. A few more ones have come in. NK says, good morning, Kafi. What Bernard is saying about Ghana police is very true. Instead of them protecting us, they are now rocking shoulders. I have some encounter. If I start saying it now, it will blow your mind. For me, the disappointment started way back ago. God save Mother Ghana. Good morning. And I was reported my car has been dented and the windscreen broken by a police car and a police motorbike. Luckily, I was able to get the driver's name and reported them. They never took my case serious from February 2022 because I am nobody and perhaps they would want to hide them. No wonder lawyers rant true. Samuel from Osu. Abdurrashad, good morning, GTV. If it were my sister, I would do some things bad. Play by the books. Play by the books. Come on, GTV, please. The law is not working again, so we don't know how to do again. From Tamale by Naporo. Naporo. I like this. We don't know how to do again. So those are your thoughts there. Good morning. This is a hashtag I love to see breakfast show. The best entertaining and most educated morning show in West Africa. Big ups GBC. Michelle Boivy from Fish Pond. We are losing trust in the police is what Nana is saying. This police shooting has become something else in our country, pa. So if this lady should die, what will they say or do is the question Nana is asking. Poyoyo, I'm challenging GTV to open phone lines over police's maltreatment to citizens. Some police are doing worse to Ghanaians. Wow, Ghana police, may the Almighty protect our country, Ghana. Montari Samira says so. All those of you who are watching us, thank you for doing so. Why are you not reading my messages? Well, I'm on it now. This one says he's been in the US for a while and things are better in Ghana than in the US. Thank you for sending that message to us. We beg you, for God's sake, be professional in your services. Mike says, hi, Cap. These days, I don't hear doctor complaining about the roads in his area. Antieku. I want to assure him that the people that really appreciate his efforts must not stop the campaign. And I can just keep going on and on because people have a lot to say. Good morning, IGP. I'm not sure what this word means. Just that he's working smart, not hard, is what Amwa is saying from Obuase. I'm waiting for your breakfast food. It will come. Keep waiting. And this is how I'll wrap up. Thank you, Kaf. I'll hand it over back to you and
thank you.
BOT.
Yeah, it looks like, thanks, Thelma.
Yep.
It looks like police has been the big issue today. But thanks, all of you who brought your messages in. For those of you who are interested in what the newspapers have to say, well, Daily Graphic, partner to fight water pollution, Vice President tells chiefs and MMDAs. Government assesses impact of economic interventions. That's on page 26 of Daily Graphic. Impact of Russia-Ukraine war on agric. Nation adopts innovative ways to avert food shortage. Page 29. Governing guns in Ghana is one headline. Ghanaian Times, Parliament amends Criminal and Other Offences Act. I'm sure Lawyer will be looking at that with a close eagle eye. We'll discuss that later, maybe next week. Daily Analyst, June 4 wins massively, calls for unity to transform GJA. Bernard is not happy with him. The monocracy, he claims, is not going to put us in a good light as journalists. And BNFT, bread prices take a hit from Russia-Ukraine war as prices of ingredients increase abnormally. Let's just use cassava to make bread, lad. Sure. Bernard Odo-Techi is with the Commonwealth Alliance for Young Entrepreneurs, and Dr. Anani Jinde is a lecturer and a governance expert at Jimpa Law Faculty. You'll be excited to listen to my interview with the Cuban ambassador on Friday. She talks a lot about the Cuban doctors and what they're doing. And when you mentioned your Cuban doctors, please watch it.
My father has a good message for a production team.
Yes.
He's saying that there is not the GBC he knows, and people should keep it up.
Salute. What is your daddy's name?
Joseph Odromanu.
Mr.
He
Joseph.
hardly watches TV. The production he's seen on GBC now is different.
He's also proud of you too, so it's good. Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph Odromanu. Salute to you. We've got a conversation on June 30. Yes, 3 days time. Ghana card, deadline, queues, wahala, pain, answers. Soon. Keep watching GTV Breakfast.
Today he has been extra sweet, and the way he looks at me.
I have done everything by the book. It's on. Hey, but I have to get some condoms, Charlie.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
Thanks for staying on. It's still Breakfast Live on GTV. Our WhatsApp number is 05555-61034. Keep your comments coming in. For this segment, we are focusing on Ghana card issues, and the queues and the frustrations are still very real for some of you who have still not registered up until now. And we are told that you have 3 days to update your records with your banks. If not, you stand the chance of not having access to your own monies at the banks. There is a 31st July deadline for SIM card registration, which you also need the Ghana card to complete. So if you still don't have your Ghana card by now, I bet you'll be feeling the pinches. The head of corporate communications of the National Identification Authority is in the house, Abdul Ganiyu, and he is going to answer some of your questions about what the exercise in this stage entails. Ganiyu, good morning and welcome.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome back, I should say.
Sure, and thank
Everything
you very
fine?
much for having me. Sure, I'm doing well.
Okay, so there's a final push for people to get their Ghana cards, especially with the deadline, the 30th June deadline looming, and the 31st July SIM card registration looming. I bet it's meant a more packed day for you and your guys on the ground.
Well, I think it's important to always put this in proper context. There's never a deadline, so as far as the acquisition of the Ghana card is concerned. But there's probably a deadline for institutions that have to rely on the national identification system for rendering their services, dealing with customers, so on and so forth.
So for the National Identification Authority, there's no deadline.
Absolutely.
You can get it on the 31st of December 2035.
In fact, you can get it any day, any time for the rest of your life.
However.
And that is what it is. So, but because state institutions have to rely on the Ghana card, they have come up with their own schedule on when their customers or clients, for instance, should acquire the Ghana card
is it fair to ask you about this, Ganiyu? What's the rush really? If you don't link your Ghana card to your bank account, as the banks are asking us to do in the next 3 days, what really do you stand to lose? Shouldn't they just exercise patience until everybody gets the card and updates as and when?
But Thomas, so that's the point I've been making. You can never get to a point where you say that everyone has a Ghana card. And that is simply because as we continue to increase in population, the new births and whatnot that are being added to the population must also be registered and then issued with a Ghana card. And with this first phase of the registration, which has to do with those who are 15 years and above, it means that if there were persons who were 14 years old yesterday, today if they are 15, then they are eligible to register for the smart identity card and going forward. But because we were minded about the fact that state institutions must rely on the NIS, the National Identification System, for their own transactions, that was why we conducted a nationwide mass registration exercise that took us to every region, every district, every hamlet of this country, calling on people to come out in queue, get registered and be issued with a Ghana card. So that when institutions start to issue deadlines such as these, depending on the service that you'll be seeking at any point in time. When the Ghana card is requested, you have it to show.
But no
and we
law
have
takes
done that.
retrospective effect. So if I opened my bank account at a time where it was legal for me to use a voter's ID, for example, or my passport or my driver's license to get it, and that was acceptable at the time, there's no law that will be passed today that should make my access to those services in doubt.
But the law provides in the LI 211 of the National Identification Register 2012 that banking services, for instance, require the Ghana card as a mandatory document or a mandatory requirement. And it provides about 14 other mandatory services that must rely on the Ghana card going forward. And this law has been in existence since 2012.
Going forward.
Yes, perhaps we did not have the Ghana card as of 2012, for instance, but those services have to be rendered anyway. So any kind of identity that existed at the time that these institutions could rely on, they did so. But having gotten to a point where more than 15 million Ghanaians are currently in possession of the Ghana card, these institutions now find it necessary to ask that their subscribers, their clients, their customers come with their Ghana card so that their record will be updated. Then going forward, it is only the Ghana card that would be required for those transactions, and then also for any other individual who is coming to open a bank account for the first time, it is also your Ghana card that will be used to serve that purpose. We need to get to that point because it is not just registering people, issuing them with the identity card, but it's all the benefits that our nation stands to benefit. That is the reason why we have had to create the National Identification Authority and the National Identification System.
15 million Ghanaians now have a Ghana card.
Sure.
As against how many bank accounts?
Well, bank accounts, that's for the BOG to answer that. I mean, in terms of holders of bank accounts at the moment.
I'm trying to determine how many Ghanaians would not have access to their bank accounts because they may not have a Ghana card as we speak. Come June 30, in 3 days from now, when that deadline kicks in, if it does not get extended, it means what exactly for those who have not linked their Ghana cards to their bank account?
Well, I think that's for the Bank of Ghana and perhaps the Ghana Association of Bankers to answer this question in terms of the total number of bank account holders.
And what happens
from where I know and from where I sit, I can boldly say that no one is going to lose the bank account and no one is going to lose his or her money. The 1st July is the kickoff. Is that okay? Where once you are coming to the bank, you have to be able to show your Ghana card to undertake various banking transactions, whether it's about the transfer of money, the opening of a bank account, so on and so forth. So even for individuals who do not have the Ghana card, it doesn't mean that their accounts are going to be lost or they are going to lose money. Absolutely. It means that when you go to the bank would only tell you, go get a Ghana card and come back.
And until you get the Ghana card, they won't provide you with any services at the bank.
Yes, so that is for individuals to then take advantage of the numerous offices of the National Identification Authority that have been established across Ghana. And you go out there, register, get your Ghana card in a day or two, perhaps, and you should be able to go to your bank.
That's a very optimistic
and then
outlook.
Continue to undertake your banking transactions. So we are collaborating with the Ghana Association of Bankers, and NIA at that level would ensure that registration services continue to be brought to the doorstep of each and every Ghanaian. And you're not going to have a situation also where on the 1st of July, all Ghanaians walk to the bank, for instance, for this kind of integration to be done. That is why the Ghana Association of Bankers, a couple of months ago, started this whole campaign, urging people to go for their Ghana cards and then go and get that
But
integration
you and I know
done.
our people. We know that there's one Akosia Mansa somewhere who still does not have a Ghana card,
Sure.
or who has lost a Ghana card that is looking for replacement, who might require banking services come July 1, who will be turned away as things stand?
Yes, so the Akusia Mansa should have known this particular deadline way ahead of the deadline itself, the fact that it has been widely communicated, and should have ensured that the person go to the district or the regional office of the NIA, get registered and issued with the Ghana card. If Akusia Mansa lost the Ghana card, Akusia Mansa would have gone to the police station, picked a police extract, and then go to an NIA office. I mean, if you go to the LWAC Sports Stadium, for instance, it's a big space that we have done just to ensure that the numerous, the avalanche of people who continue to turn up for card replacement, we are able to render that service to them. At a fee of 30 Ghana cedis, yes, and which is heavily subsidized. I mean, you and I have had this conversation before, and I tell you what, if people were going to pay for the full service in terms of a card replacement or even the issuance of a new card, that would have been way beyond the reach of many Ghanaians. But it's been heavily subsidized, just 30 Ghana cedis. You go get a replacement, and that is it. And you head to your bank and you go and seek any kind of service that you want to seek from them.
Give us an idea of the centers, perhaps a regional breakdown. If somebody was not in Accra, you mentioned LWAC. Is LWAC the only center in Accra as we speak, and where can people access services elsewhere in the country?
Yes, for replacement services, you can get that from the LWAC Sports Stadium, and you can also get replacement services across all our regional offices. And our regional offices means that if you go to the region and you go to the regional capital, you would find an NIA office there. So for replacement, people can go to these particular places. Lost cards would be replaced, but that is after you have brought a police extract. In other words, reporting to the police that your card is missing. They probably would have asked a few questions or carried out their own investigations. They issue you with an extract. Then you go to any of these offices, that card will be replaced for you. But for updates, we haven't started updates in the regions yet. Updates are only done at the LWAC Sports Stadium. So unfortunately, if you want an update to be done and you are in Tamale, for instance, it means that you have to travel to Accra. So if
for the avoidance of doubt, what does updates mean?
Yes, an update can simply be the change of name, right? So you married, you want to change the name to include that of your husband, and the law requires that you do an affidavit, but a lot of people don't do that. I mean, right after the marriage ceremony is done, they want to be referred to as Mrs. this or Mrs. that, and even go ahead to put that on some of their official documents. That is not allowed. That is totally against the law. So we have known you to be Talma Taki, and what that simply means is that if you change your name at any point in time, you must do an affidavit, something that is commissioned by a commissioner for oath. Then you go and gazette it, now announcing to all of us that your name has changed from this to that. It is when you have brought these documents to the NIA that the NIA can do the updating for you. So that has been a challenge for some people. But of course, in the last couple of months, we've conducted quite a lot of public education on some of these matters, and people are beginning to be informed about it. So that's one update. Another form of update could be age, right? Somebody may have genuinely discovered that he or she was probably younger than the age that he or she has been using all this while.
A genuine
yes,
change
it could
of
be
age.
genuine. We've
And
had
how do you
those
prove
instances.
there's a genuine need to change your age?
Yes, maybe somewhere along the line you discovered a certain weighing card that your mom took to the hospital, and it is showing age that is different from what you are currently using. So when you come, we would ask for all of these facts. Sometimes we can go down even to the level of the basic school that one attended, the community that you hail from, ask a few questions here and there, and that's something that the NIA does in collaboration with the CID. So if we are able to establish that indeed you are younger than the age that appears on your Ghana card, and of course the records would have predated, for instance, registration and the issuance of the Ghana card for you. Then that would have been an established case that, okay, that age has to be changed. I mean, somebody could even be older, and the person comes and say, you know what,
I bet
older.
Those are few and far between.
Of course, I mean, those ones.
But the younger ones would be.
The younger ones are often more, and there are lots of such cases where people just want to change it arbitrarily. I mean, what is often referred to as football age in Ghana, and as much as possible, NIA has stopped that. Because once you have registered, you've given us a particular age, you give us a birth certificate or a passport or any kind of document that proved your age. You cannot turn around and say you are younger without providing us the basis for it. So these are examples of
age.
Yes,
you can only do that at the center.
At the moment, you can do that at the Elwak Sports Stadium, but very soon we'll move that to the regions and the districts as well.
All right, and you're also registering new applicants.
No, exactly. For new applicants, it's an everyday affair. I mean, once we are established as a state institution, now have our offices across the regions and across Ghana, even kids that are born today are supposed to be registered. And they may be issued a certain kind of card, and when they get to 15 years, they are issued a different card, the card that you and I use. But for even children who are below 14 years, who are below 15 years today, if those children turn up 15 today, they are also eligible to register. So that's why I'm saying that the NIA registration doesn't have a deadline. You get what I mean? Because as soon as, once you keep adding to the population, you have to always keep registering these people and rendering all other identity management services to them, whether it's about card replacement, it's about updates, it's about verification of people's records, as the banks and the telecommunication service providers will be doing in the next couple of days. These are all services that NIA will continue to provide as a state institution.
So there's a gap between those who have registered and those who have their cards. And that gap has been there for a while. Has it dwindled a little bit, or do we still find large numbers of people who are registered but not picked
So in
their
order to
cards?
get the comprehensive picture, let me just run by you the statistics. As of 20th June, we have enrolled 16,853,324. So 16,853,324. That is the total number enrolled.
Enrolled meaning registered?
Enrolled, they have registered, yes. And then the printed cards, out of this enrollment, we have printed 16,776,110. 176,110, and out of that we have issued 15,541,289. 15,541,289. So if you look at this, clearly there's a gap between the cards printed and the cards issued. There's also a gap between the total number enrolled or registered and the cards that have been printed.
So let's take it from the top. How is it that fewer cards have been printed than those registered? What's causing that slight block there?
Yes, again, you're going to expect that. I mean, there's never going to be a situation where the total enrolled will be equal to the total printed, because some of the cards will be printed a day or two after the enrollment has taken place, and that's what we call the deferred printing. And a lot of reasons could account for that. Maybe the internet connectivity at that time wasn't good enough, and that's where we are as a nation. We all know that. And there could also be some problems to do with the information or the data that an individual has brought. So it goes into what we call an adjudication mode. And that means we need to do some reviews at the back end before it is released for printing. So that happens. And you could also have individuals who have done double registration, and it holds it up and puts it in a certain category we call RDA, rejected due efforts. You see, your fingerprints, your facial recognition, and basically the biometrics, so the automatic fingerprint identification system. So once you go and do double registration, the system holds it up, because you cannot be double.
How can that be resolved?
In the system.
There are people initially, and they thought that, you know what, I'm not getting the cards that I originally registered for. Let me just go and register for a new one. Wrong as it was. What's the process to resolve that if someone is found to have registered twice?
So
out
could
of
it
no
be?
malice?
Well, out of no malice, we think that they would say ignorance of the law is no excuse and all of that. But then, from where we sit, a new system, we can still assume that people are genuinely ignorant. So those people should be forgiven. But those people are part of the huge number of people we currently have whose cards have not yet been printed, because you have done double registration, which is against the law.
How do we resolve
So yes, it's about policy, because one, people have violated the law. You are not supposed to do double registration in the first place, and the law provides exactly what the consequences are. So it is not me or even the professor Atifua to just issue a fiat that ignore all of these infractions and go ahead and issue Ghana cards to people. It requires some kind of policy, and for everyone to accept that. I think those conversations are ongoing, and pretty soon a position will be taken. It is very much likely that these matters will be resolved. Those people are forgiven, more or less.
Go and sin no more.
Go and sin no more.
But in the meantime,
maybe a strong statement issued to that effect. Then maybe those cards get printed, and then we call those people for the cards to be issued to them. So that's going to happen. So this gap that you find includes that. But a lot of people in that particular category. But you then also have people who have given us data is inconsistent with some other previous data that we had about them. So you are surely going to have a situation where the number of cards, the number of people registered or enrolled would often exceed the cards printed.
Okay, and then there's those 1 million plus, just by looking at it from the basics maths, or just under 1 million, who have still not collected their cards. So these cards are just sitting with the NIA, and no one is coming for
Exactly.
them.
So that was very smart by you. It's a little over 1 million, about 1.2 million cards if you just do the mathematics between the cards printed and the cards issued. So yet it's another problem that has to be dealt with. What that means is that these cards have already been printed and they are with us. But, but the individuals must come for these cards to be issued to them.
So if you registered in Sawam East constituency somewhere, as BOT would say his hometown,
yes,
where would your card be if you wanted to trace it up?
Yes, so that means you go to the district of the National Identification Authority. Mostly our districts will be found at our offices will be found at a district assembly. But if you don't find it within that district assembly structure, there could be somewhere else that the office is located. By virtue of our collaboration with the MMDAs, they have found that spaces in their districts where NIA operates. So you need to locate that office, and your card most likely will be there.
In the pile that probably would be in a huge box that would be placed before you.
Exactly.
To look for.
No, the cards are separated into what we call center codes, center numbers, because a district could have so many centers that registration took place during the mass registration. So once that has been done, then it's easier. So once you go, mention your name, your date of birth, probably showing a slip of paper that you were given during registration. Even if it's not lost, your date of birth and date and name, use that to be able to go through the system. They are able to tell the center code, and they can go to the appropriate box, locate your card, and then issue it to you. You have to be there in person, and that has been the challenge we've had with a lot of people, that they've registered at particular places, cards have been printed and sent to those places, but the people are unable to go there for the card in person to pick up their cards. So normally they will call and say, can I allow someone pick it for me? Not at all. This is identity management. You have to be there yourself. Your biometrics have to be taken again, connected to the card, get it activated for use before we issue it to you. So you must be there in person.
I know people who are outside the country who haven't been able to travel for a number of reasons, who may even Ghana card, but will definitely miss the deadline for the banks linking and also for the SIM card registration. Is there a plan to collaborate with persons such as these, or are they able to just show up at the banks whenever they are in the country to do the link as expected with the bank?
So I think that after this conversation, you need to bring the GAB, the Ghana Association of Bankers, to discuss some of these modalities. Our mandate really ends with when we have handed the Ghana card to you. It's that simple. And then whatever service that the service provider needs for us to link up the systems for verification to take place, we have to do that, and we have done that.
It means you can't also answer the question of whether there's likely to be an extension of the deadline?
From where I sit, I cannot. Not at all. I mean, I can't even hazard a guess, so let's leave it at that. But whatever it is, the assurance that nobody is going to lose the money and nobody is going to lose a bank account.
But if you had to make a recommendation to the banks or the telcos based on what the situation on the grounds are, looking at now, I'll talk about what's happening at the centers as you've entered into this next phase of registration. Okay. If you had to proffer a suggestion to the banks or the telcos, would you ask for an extension of the deadline?
So Thelma, I'll do that in the boardroom. We're not going to have that conversation here.
I'm just asking.
Yes,
a
lot.
Would you recommend an extension?
A lot takes place in the background, and which would often lead to what people say. We at NIA can understand and appreciate the frustrations. Much of it really not NIA's fault. So whatever recommendations we have to make, we would often do that formally to the institutions that are responsible. And from where I sit, I'm not going to be able to state it.
What's happening on the ground in this phase of the registration? We are still seeing long queues. We're still seeing frustrated people at the centers, and it appears that some ways and means are also happening in other centers to get yourself ahead of the game so you can get your card in time. What's the challenge?
Well, I think the major challenge for us is how we can get this over 1 million cards distributed, because they continue to sit in our inventory at the regional and the district offices, and that comes at a huge cost to us, because you have to manage these cards. You have to keep them in proper conditions so that they'll keep their functionality. Now, to the extent that they continue to be with us, obviously NIA is not pleased with it. So yes, we are collaborating with some of these institutions that you have mentioned, the National Communication Authority, for example, to find a way of getting these cards to the hamlets. In other words, beyond the district offices, the particular places that the registration took place, so that people are not going to say, okay, if I probably come from Salaga South, for instance, and I live at a place like, let's say, Kulpi, which is my village, then you have to travel all the way from Kulpi to Salaga for a card to be issued to you. So that becomes problematic, especially for the rural dwellers. They have to go to farm and engage and all of that. So we are finding a way of identifying all of these cards, the particular places that registration took place, and then moving them there, so that we are bringing that closer to the doorsteps of each and every Ghanaian, so that whoever is minded will be able to come there for the card to be issued. That's a major challenge at the moment, and in the next couple of days we should be able to get that done. Right.
Let's open the conversation a bit broader beyond this table. We invite you to send your comments to us. Dr. Abudu Abdul Ganiyu is the head of corporate affairs of the National Identification Authority, answering questions about the Ghana card. 05555 61034. Valerie is at the screen. Val, what are people saying?
Yes, thank you. Ni is joining the conversations and said, can't those people whose cards are ready be called for collection, because people are going around in search of their cards and don't know where exactly to go?
Okay, so that's one. I'm noting a few of them down.
Yes, and someone is saying that it's been very annoying since 2019. I haven't received my Ghana card, and yet they have let me pre-register. So they've let him pre-register again, telling him they don't know when his card will come. His name is Vincent from Dacoman, and he says they gave him this, and there's a receipt showing the date, and it says no recard found, data verification and database, and that's what they gave to him. So that's from Samuel. Abdallah is still typing. Please ask Mr. No.
Daniel, for me if it's true.
Yes, I want to go back up.
Okay.
Okay, so no. Okay, so good morning. Please tell Honorable to talk to their members, because you go in person and they will tell you to go and come the next day or week, at times demanding for money before searching for your card. What is the problem? And he is asking, this says, the messages are running really fast, so I can't get. So what about the cost of getting yourself a Ghana card? It's not everyone who can afford it. It's expensive. Why? Something, okay, they are collecting almost 200 cedis or even more in this era of hardship. A message I just missed to said, was asking if it was relevant, if it is legal for people to pay 200 or 300 cedis. So that's another. People are asking, are they supposed to be paying monies before their cards are giving them? Hi, good morning. Thanks and God bless you for your good works. Please, this is from, please kindly ask your panel that my name was wrongly spelled on after my card was issued to me during the mass registration. After providing my needed documents to the registry, please, I want my name to be corrected. What do I do? As GTV, hashtag GTV, as Dr. Abudu said, replacement card can be done in all centers at the Eastern region, precisely in Koko and its environs. If it's not so, they tell you to go to the region itself, which is Koforidua, for the replacement. So this is somebody who's also asking where they can get their replacements from. Okay, more messages coming in. Hold on. This is from Albert Esman, and Albert is saying, good morning, Chairman. The last minute attitude isn't true with Ghana card issuance. My wife registered before me, but I have my card and she doesn't. Evidence to this is that she has her Ghana card number, but not the card. NIA at a district says it is missing. What happens in the case of this person? This is from Albert Esman from Awoshi.
Okay. Do you want to take a pause so that we go through some of what we have already,
so
and then
that
we'll come back to you
once
we have exhausted this rather extensive list of questions. Why can't people be called to pick up their cards? You have our details, you have our phone numbers, you have our email addresses, you have our digital addresses. You need to find us.
So the question is, who is going to fund that cost? That surely is going to come at a huge cost if we look at these numbers. But of course, what is being also explored is that can individuals take up the cost, for instance, when we have called them and told them that their cards are ready, and we probably have to move the cards, let's say from a particular district to Accra, where the person now resides, even though the person may have registered outside Accra. Then the person takes the courier cost.
As for who pays for the calls, the telcos are your friends. Could we ask the telcos to give you a certain code that the NIA would use to contact persons?
So that is if it will be free.
So it's a collaboration that you could explore with the telcos.
If it will be at a free cost to NIA, why not? So thanks for that suggestion. Probably some of the telcos are listening to us.
Or send a text.
Yeah, but either way, it's cost, it's data. I mean, you surely have to buy something. And we're a public service organization, and you
corporate
understand
social responsibility.
Times could be hard, and institutions are cutting budgets, so on and so forth. This is one other thing you will not want to add. You get what I mean? So, but the point is, we could bring some of these cars that are outside Accra to persons in Accra, and then they pay for that particular cost. Or even if somebody now is in Tamale but registered in Accra, then maybe those cards sent to Tamale, then
like
they pay
a courier
for it. Exactly. So these are things that are being explored.
Right. So they could call, you could call, but who pays is the question you're asking.
Sure.
There's also an issue of re-registering and payments allegedly being asked of people. And we've had this from day one, Ganiyu, when you've been here before. I've always asked you, your people ask people to pay money. And sometimes it's in the hundreds of cedis. In this case, someone specifically mentioned, two people specifically mentioned 200 Ghana cedis. Are we supposed to oil the wheels of custom or butter somebody's bread to get a Ghana card?
Yes, I think if you have followed that, I have issued numerous press releases always telling Ghanaians the kind of fees and charges that apply. And that if they go to a particular district office and something is being demanded other than what we have publicly communicated, then that is against the law. And you just need to draw NIA's attention to it, and we are going to take action against the respective office holders
bank is saying
at that
30th
district.
June.
And
if I go to your center and I don't have a card, and at the risk of, detaching me from the money in my bank account, I face a fear of losing that service. With the SIM card registration deadline coming up on July 31st, chances are somebody there may take advantage of my desperation to ask for these monies, and people feel compelled to pay because otherwise it never gets to your turn.
Yes.
Do you get it?
But that still amounts to wrongdoing. I mean, granted that under that kind of pressure, you must pick up the Ghana card and you are even prepared to pay, knowing that it is against the law. Then at that point, you don't blame NIA, because we have told you that that is absolutely against the law. The fees and charges that apply are simply the 250 Ghana cedis that people must pay at the premium registration center, the 30 Ghana cedis that people must pay for card replacements, a 30 Ghana cedis that people must pay if an update, for instance, must lead to the printing of a new card. All right, or even 100 Ghana cedis that people must pay for institutional registration, or 150 Ghana cedis that people must pay for household registration. We have specified all of these instances where fees and charges must apply per the law. Anything outside that, anybody asking for money from you, it's illegal. Even if under that pressure you took the Ghana card, you still can report to the NIA.
And so say that, I gave them 200 before they did my card for me. So I have my card.
At that point, you
Belinda did it.
At that point,
so
you are becoming a whistleblower, and there are protocols that we all must go through to get that done.
I have taken part in a fraudulent transaction.
If you don't say, you probably will not say, I took part in something fraudulent. But probably you are simply drawing attention to the fact that so and so place people are taking money, and then we would set our arsenals on them, and at the end of the day, we are able to bring them to book. And we've done that across the country. We've also issued statements of individuals we have investigated, we have prosecuted.
Investigate the rude ones. I have one at the Accra.
Gotten convictions and all of that. So that happens.
This lady,
daily.
I'm on you today. Gani, you will hear your link today. But do you have more messages? Yes. Okay, go on.
This is coming. She says, good morning. My name is Federica Eloam near JB Diakon. I have been made a Nigerian. I have followed up with the CID who have verified I'm a Ghanaian, but I was told the card had to be taken to Germany to rectify it. What can I do next, please? She leaves her name and said, please read this. And so, yes, Federica, we've read your message. And so she wants to respond to
change? What happened here?
You see, yeah, so the relevant documents have to be brought. Perhaps in the earlier registration, the person registered as a Nigerian and has now become Ghana later on. So
that's a smooth naturalization
exactly. Process. So what's the document in terms of the acquired citizen? We have the acquired citizenship.
She claims the CID has certified that she is Ghanaian. Why could she send these documents,
it's
for example?
It's not necessarily a CID satisfying that you are a Ghanaian.
Okay.
But it's about the document
that
you bring. Is that okay? You must bring us the acquired citizenship certificate. Is that okay? The naturalization certificate. That now
I get the impression that this person was never a Nigerian and that they were assigned a nationality by mistake. And this is just me sitting. I'm assuming that this person is Ghanaian who somehow was put into the system as Nigerian.
Frederica is back here and she says that no one seems to be able to help me. I was told to use my card as Nigerian. I am not a Nigerian.
No, you see, I think people must get this. have a Ghana card, right? And then maybe the registration number has a certain code that probably shows Nigerian. But that doesn't matter. You are still a Ghanaian. And that is because formally you were a Nigerian and registered as a foreigner.
This person is saying they are not
Nigerian.
Nigerian.
Just for the public education.
Okay.
So individuals who were probably dual citizens or citizens of other countries have registered before under what we call the Foreigner Identification Management System. So the system obviously recognizes them as foreigners. But for some reason, those people have become Ghanaians over time. I hope you get it. So the person was a U.S. citizen, maybe a Ghanaian who has lived in the U.S. has become a citizen of America. When that person came to register for a non-citizenship card at the time, it was shown that the person is a U.S. citizen. And I have those instances. But during this registration or in this particular phase, the person has now become a Ghanaian. So the system, the unique number that was assigned to you as a foreigner is the same unique number that will be given to you now, even though you are a Ghanaian.
I think that we should put Francesca,
Frederica,
in touch with you. Perhaps
Exactly.
send your contact and then we can find some kind of resolution. So nationality issues key. We missed something in the first round of questions about wrong spelling of names.
Yes.
So if your name is spelled wrongly and you submitted your correct spelling of your name to NIA, what happens?
Yeah, so it means that was a genuine mistake, which is a fault, I mean, really, between you and whoever was entering the data. Because finally, that small paper was printed and given to you, and you needed to cross-check all of these before permitting the printing of the card. But you also didn't do that. So let's assume that under pressure, you all made a mistake. So now you can come for that correction to be done. But that must be dependent on the primary document that you brought to do the registration. So if you brought a birth certificate, for instance, that birth certificate will be in the system. So we'll simply look at the record in the system. If the record has the correct spelling of the name, then obviously the correction will be done and a new card will be printed for you.
Free of charge?
No, not free of charge. I mean, any printing of another card after the first issuance of the card, you pay the 30 Ghana cedis.
Short answer. 30 cedis for replacement.
So we are looking for an alternative here. Parkwesi is saying that he says, some model, I lost all my documents, including my NIA card. I called the office for assistance. I was told to go for police extract first. And now that one too is a story on its own. Is there an alternative means?
If you lose your card, how else do you get it?
That is the only means.
The police extract.
You go get the police extract and then go to the NIA office for the replacement to be done.
At 30 cedis?
Yes, of course, for the replaced card.
Right. Hello, good morning to you too. It says, I registered my Ghana card in Kokoro Bite, but when I was going for my card at the center, I registered, then they have moved. In no time, then, well, I came to Cape Coast. I haven't returned to Kokoro Bite again. What should I do?
Exactly. So he or she must return to the district office
of Kokoro
that
Bite.
Kokoro Bite is located. Okay, I don't know exactly in Accra which district will find Kokoro Bite, but that is what he needs to find out and go to that office. It's very much possible that a card is there and it will be issued to him.
Okay. Right. Abdullah is saying he did a replacement on 4th April but has not received it till now. Anytime he gets to the office, he's told that there are no cards to be printed there for now. He needs answers.
Yes, I mean, we have some genuine challenges regarding blank cards, but that again is being dealt with. And this week, a lot of those cards will be sent to the regions and districts. And for all cards that are waiting to be printed, we should get them printed in the course of this week and early next week.
You see why you should suggest to the banks to extend the deadline, because some of it is from the NIA. It's not Amma Manson's fault that they went to the office to print their card and there was no blank card for her card to be printed on.
The deadline, we are told, for that integration to start is on the 1st of July. Today it's 27? Exactly. So let's see how that goes.
Good morning, please. My name is Parker. I tried to apply for a premium Ghana card, but they asked me to speak Ga before they'll do it for me after paying 250 Ghana cedis. I'm a Ghanaian. I have a birth certificate. What should I do? Up till now, I don't have it. I just got a new contract. I'm a chef. He needs that to complete his...
Do you need to prove language proficiency in any Ghanaian language to get a Ghana card?
Yeah, those are sociological issues that sometimes when individuals come and probably the officer, in this case the registration officer, feels that beyond the face of the documents, some more inquiry must take place to establish the person's true identity as a Ghanaian citizen. Questions like these can be asked.
There are almost 50 local languages in Ghana. Why ask specifically for one language?
So probably the person says he or she is young. The person says he or she was born to...
I know people who are of a certain tribe who can't speak a word of the language. I have girlfriends. Good morning to you. I hope you've learned to speak some Ga. She can't speak a word of Ga. She has a flawless Ga name like Na Ameli Vanderpoy.
So the language is just one question.
But she speaks flawless Fanti.
Yes. So this person probably should tell us what more questions he or she was asked just beyond the language. So the language is just part of a set of questions that an individual may ask, and up to a point, I establish that yes, you are a Ghanaian, then you are allowed to go through the process. So that's why we keep saying that bringing a birth certificate or a passport and just filling a registration form does not okay you to be a Ghanaian citizen. There's a rigorous interviewing process that will normally take place to be able to establish
I have a friend who lives in Chisholm. This is a guy.
Okay.
Through and through British and speaks flawless Tree. Flawless. You would almost think he was a Ghanaian. So your ability to speak a Ghanaian language.
So excuse me. So that British, if the person is coming to register and the person wants to pass off as a Ghanaian, there are documents that the person must bring first. Is that right? Maybe the person could bring a birth certificate, could bring a passport. Despite the color or the complexion that you find, it is very much possible that a person was born to Ghanaian citizens. Is that okay? So that person's birth certificate or a passport will suffice. Anything short of that, if the person tried pushing through his citizenship and to get the Ghana card, it wouldn't go through.
Because the NIA does not have the mandate to confer citizenship on people, does it?
Yeah, so you must bring a certificate that shows that you've acquired Ghanaian citizenship. Either citizenship or naturalization, you show that before you're allowed to go through the process.
More questions?
Yes. Amelia Menu is asking, can I use a weighing card instead of a birth certificate for registration?
No.
Nope. Short answer, no.
No. Okay. Ben Ano is saying that his brother went to register for the Ghana card since 2019 and hasn't received his card. He was told to go to the long room at the harbour, but since. Any advice? Where should he go?
Yeah, once the person has registered already, there could be a problem, and the person still has to wait until NIA makes a final decision on it. And if those cards are printed, the person will be informed. I suspect that this person may have done double registration, and that means the person's data is in the RDA, that is the rejected deal IFIS. So most of the people who registered around 2019 and gotten their cards are people within RDA.
Parker is aware.
Okay.
So Parker who sent the message earlier about
being to speak Ga.
He's saying he's aware.
He's an ever man.
Yes, sir.
So if you're like halfway there and you can say the Gola Fima, but you can't say Jejeme, then that's a problem. Yeah?
Right. Confident is asking, and if you want to replace a fingerprint with a signature, how are you going to do that? Is that even possible?
A fingerprint with a signature. So somebody couldn't sign before, so they were fingerprinted, but now they want to put a signature on
Yes, so that again is an update that can easily be done.
Okay.
Once the person comes around, if the person is in Accra, they will take that person through the process.
Let me come onto your staff a little bit, because I have a personal experience of someone who was so disrespectful to my mom. I called you that day, spitting pure fire. They could use a bit of training, couldn't they? Because sometimes the way they interact with people when they are providing a service that I, as a taxpayer, paid for, and that's being provided to me, leaves much to be desired. A lot of the people who are going to these centers and they don't have their cards, partly because they encounter rude service providers.
Yes, and they have been trained and trained thoroughly. So, but if you're talking about over 1,000 permanent staff of NIA and probably another 500 contract staff, we surely are not going to be able to put a finger on the character of each and everyone exhibiting that right. So these things surely are going to come up. But what is important is the action that NIA management takes when matters like these have been reported to us. And I know that Professor Atifua doesn't let these matters lying down at all. We have over and over taken on our own staff, prefer the appropriate charges on them, and some of them taking them to court, so on and so forth. So, Thelma, yes, I cannot remember.
Taken to court.
Yes, we've taken our own staff to court on some of these matters when they have come out, especially on matters of bribery and extortion, as people were alleging. So, but at the end of the day, these may just be a few cases, probably in their tens or something like that.
How do people reach you with complaints, with requests for assistance?
Yes, the regional and district officers are there. And depending on which part of the country you find yourself, if there's a problem within the district, let the district registration office know. There's a district registration officer there that you can report your complaints to, and that person will escalate it to the region. Then it comes to the national.
Can you be very busy because our screen is still buzzing, even though we have to quickly get out of here. So we'll get you in touch with some of the people who need most urgent help, and perhaps you can proffer some solutions to their issues of getting a Ghana card. Dr. Abdul Ganiyu is the head of corporate affairs at the National Identification Authority. Ganiyu, as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your morning. This is GTV Breakfast, and we'll be coming back very shortly to wrap it all up nicely for you so you can get on with your Monday. We'll be back.
Wabasu. I heard he sold his family land to buy this car. Oh yes. 50 acres of land.
Fifia de waye.
Has an aroma for a 30 common. A your transaction now. Use the more, Casa more, no blouse more. Put it me in your quenya. I didn't kunim. I want to go so reloaded.
Took me so I bet me increasing my business no. Oh yeah.
Me the 18 and on 8 year. Tell them your tickets. Number Winnie. Mamma go back. I am on the cocoa. Tessili. Chame payanku. Akokono. The penny hips. Galino. Kitsuwe.
We're big boy. Am I?
Nabi. To go on so.
1 week later.
Dial *500# now to meet your weekly 80 money, calls, and data targets to win your share of the over 1 million Ghana cedis cash prizes up for grabs.
I tried to go to know.
Okay, so we are wrapping it all up. We are closing a bit early today to make room for a live program that is coming up right after the show. It's the national launch of the Business Resource Person Centers, BRCs, and it's from the Business Resource Center, coming to you live from the Accra International Conference Center. And the Minister for Trade and Industry, Mr. Alan Tremating, will be the top speaker for that event. We're expecting other persons to be there as well. That will come up right after this program, streaming live on GBC's social media handles, on Facebook, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. So join that program live, and we will wrap it up here, and we'll come back tomorrow with another interesting edition of Breakfast live on GTV. Guys,
we're your props. So we won't say much.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye,
Take care. Bye bye.
hopefully you have your Ghana card.
Yes, indeed. I do.
Yes, we do.
I have it. I have it. Take care. Bye. God bless.
Bye.